and welcome to another DaraChat. My name is Daramuth, or Dara for short, because I don't know how many times I have to say it, but there's some people out there, man, that say Daramouth, and I don't appreciate it. And that's not right. So that's why I shorten it, so I have to listen to it. The horrible people. Hey, Miss Queen. But anyway, no. Hey. None of that in chat. None of that. She's trying to pick on me already. Anyway, I I I get to have on the amazing and wonderful King of Biltong. Or actually, you also because I know you have your own channels as well, like Anton, right?
It's Eat at Anton's, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Eat at Anton's, yeah.
That's right.
And yeah, because you have one on Rumble and YouTube and all that
Correct.
stuff. So, but
Yeah.
no, but thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, man.
I'm glad to get to talk to the man behind it all. That's usually well, all right, sorry, that's one half of behind it all. All right,
Yes.
because you work with
Correct.
you do
Correct.
work with the business. But no,
I'm
yeah.
I'm the bigger half, but
Uh-oh, now we're really gonna get
I
into
can't
trouble.
say she's the bigger half. I'll get in trouble. So
That is true. I don't know. That is true. To my favorite dudes. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, obviously, of course, for those who don't know, uh, uh, King or Anton, he has a business called. Well, it's two very different things. I just go by the website Biltong USA, but you call it
yeah, we
yeah.
we we used to. So man, that's a long story. So we we opened as actually as Anton's African Cuisine because we
Mm,
were a restaurant, but I wanted to say South African, but the sign was like $11,000. And if I took the South African out, it was $7,000. So I just made it African instead of
right.
South African,
Uh,
and I saved a bunch of money because it made it smaller. So
yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And then all the Nigerians came, and I'm like, no, wrong food. It's not that Africa. It's different
Right.
Africa. So then we changed. Well, we just basically launched that
Uh,
and kind of got going. And then, of course, the Wu flu came around and
yeah.
stopped everything. So we're like, all right, we're gonna have to reimagine this. So we decided, all right, well, groceries. Well, during 2020,
Yeah.
because nobody kind of went out, everybody just got stuff for home. We thought, all
Yeah.
right, well, maybe we get involved in groceries and things for people to do at home, which we
Yeah.
did. And so we changed it to Anton's Meat and Eat.
Yeah.
Just kind of more kind of groceries, and then we still had the restaurant part going,
Mm,
which we then shut down a little later because the groceries kind of outgrew.
yeah.
But with imports, things are a little uh, less reliable
Yeah.
because depending on you don't just have to worry about suppliers that don't have stock. You also have to worry about getting it to the country.
Oh, yeah.
So if the supplier doesn't have stock when you
Mm,
ship, then it's like twice as long because it takes 4 or 5 months to put the order in, get the ship here, unload, and get it. And so it takes a pretty long time. So we basically started pushing the biltong harder because we control that. We make
yeah.
it, and it's local, American sourced meat.
Yeah.
It's just the South African techniques that we apply to it. So we
Yeah.
thought, well, that's the one thing we never run out of. So let's
Yeah.
promote it. And now, it's become 70% of our business. So
Yeah.
we just changed everything to Biltong USA. So you're spot on. Everything's Biltong USA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing too is like even though like you're saying, even though a big chunk of it is the biltong, you do have other stuff. Like I saw stuff from the UK.
Yep.
So I think you have treats and stuff from South Africa as well, right?
Yes. So we do
Okay.
candies, cookies, a little bit of groceries, spices. Like it's basically we're a small imports grocer.
Yeah.
So we've got like potato chips and
Oh yeah.
salty like crackers and yeah. So
Mm.
it's all the bits and pieces.
Yeah, I'm guilty of getting the cheese and onion chips, and
Yes.
it was a guilty pleasure. But anyway,
Yeah, Nicole's shaking her head in the background there. She's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Oh, man, these are too good, but I can't have them very often." But no, but that I mean, the whole thing in itself, right? Because again, like I was telling you earlier, I've talked to other people who are from South Africa as well, and they talk about biltong as, something they greatly enjoy, and they just heavily the gentleman I talked to, Flex Gamer or Gaming, the one who's living in Vietnam, he's the
Yeah.
one who was talking about it. I had mentioned it to him because I was telling him about you guys, and I was mentioning it to him. He's like, "Do you deliver over there?" He's like, "Probably not."
Uh, the shipping beef over borders is quite a. We can't even get it to Canada.
Mhm.
The customs guys get real upset.
Yeah.
So that's one of the issues we got is to get outside of the continental US. Hawaii and Alaska is just expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But when you go to Canada, they get they get upset when
Yeah.
beef crosses, like meat basically crosses the if it's not approved, like we get bison. Funny enough, we get from Canada, so
Wow.
we buy imported bison, which
Mhm.
I still don't understand why, but that's the only one we can get.
Right.
But we can't. So there has to be a lot of. I think there's some inspections and stuff involved, and
Mm,
we trying to. So we specifically what we decided to do was not go into grocery stores. That was
mm,
a conscious decision we made because I'd much rather just go direct to public, and then I give everybody a better deal,
mm.
because if you buy direct from me, it's going to be cheaper, and
Yeah.
we cut out the middleman. So there's no Walmarts of the world involved, and I make a little more money, and everybody gets the product a little cheaper,
Yeah.
and we can keep the quality up. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. And
so
I
that's
could
what we do.
yeah, because you have shown pictures where you go to the place where you get the meat from.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know if it's like a farm or
It's a
whatever it is.
processor, yeah,
Oh,
it's a huge building, yeah. I always feel tiny when I get there because I'll be there with my truck, and
mm,
these huge semis standing there just loading, tons of meat, and I take maybe, 1,500 pounds, and they loading, hundreds of pounds.
wow.
Yeah, we
That's
do about 1,500 pounds a week, process.
wow. That's
Yeah,
insane. Just to imagine that much meat alone is
yeah.
killer.
That's pretty. But we at a point now. I mean, I do that every week, so I process about 1,500 pounds every week.
Uh,
Nicole slices, packs it. We've got some automation. So
yeah.
she so I do the manufacturing. We both kind of, because it all gets hung to dry. So there's
Right.
no dehydration. You kind of hook it onto a hook, and then you hang
Mhm,
it up in a cabinet. Um,
mhm,
and then like fans kind of dry this beef. Um,
mm,
so we'll both hang it. I'll make it, and then between the two of us, we take it down, and then she will slice it, and then she packs it, and I'll help her seal, and then we have all the packs of meat. So it looks like
yeah.
it comes out of a factory, but it's pretty much us making it.
Which is, I mean, to be honest, for what it's worth, you guys are doing a pretty bang up job, even though you're probably like running yourselves ragged to death to get it going.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's not a lot of rest, man. I don't think we've had more than like 6 days off in like 7 years.
wow.
Yeah, it's been rough, but it's okay. Well, you know what? We're still working for ourselves, so I'll take that.
Hey, yeah, that's not bad. But I mean, so that kind of comes to the question, like, how, like, did you move to the US from South Africa? Like, how did you
Yeah,
even get here?
yeah. So I was involved in IT, and
Oh,
we developed some software, and
mm,
we sold the software to some of the American telecom companies. So I was involved in telecom, IT and telecom, and we
mm,
sold the software to some. So what basically happened is we had a local partner that resold our software,
oh,
and then I was like in country support
mm,
while running the business. I also did the in country support locally, and then I met Nicole, and she really liked the food, and
yeah,
then she was on my case about starting something with the food, which I
yeah,
then did. And that was hard work, man. I
yeah,
tell you something. But yeah, so that's how that's I got to the US on a like what they call an L1, which is a intercompany executive transfer. So I
right,
had I had to set up a business in the US
Mhm.
sell the US portion of our software. And I had
Mhm.
a business in South Africa, so I transferred from the South African business to the US business,
Mhm.
and then did the in-country support for the business here for the customer. So we the local partner we had did some of the local telecom guys in the US, and then we
Mhm.
had some contracts in South America.
Interesting. Oh, that's pretty awesome though. I mean, because no, but is that what led you to Texas then, or were you
Yeah,
elsewhere?
I was in a few. I've worked mostly in Maryland.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I know she's. It's her fault, man. If she didn't say, do the food, maybe we would be rich and retired or something. I don't know. Now we just have
Right,
to work. But I worked up Maryland, close to DC area. That's where our partner was,
right.
and I did some work in Chicago, and I came into Texas, and it just felt like home. It felt familiar,
Uh-huh.
and because it's IT, you can pretty much, as long as you're close to a major airport and you can fly easily, it doesn't really matter where you're stationed. But I
Mm,
just Texas felt very familiar. I guess is the best descriptor. It just kind of felt like South Africa for the
yeah,
most part. The weather's pretty similar. And I just liked it, yeah. And when I came, I mean, I was here by myself. I didn't
right.
know anybody. We were three business partners at the time, and the one guy stayed in Dallas. So
Mm,
I knew him, but I knew nobody else. Like I didn't know
interesting.
any other South Africans. I didn't know anybody. I
Mm,
didn't come with anybody. I came by myself. I have no family or anything. And then I met Nicole. So
wow. No, I mean, yeah, that would be pretty scary to be honest, because you're coming from a place, but it also makes sense too because it is very. Although there are times where it gets cold, because I did when I had Anjanette on, she was cold during
yeah,
her time.
yeah, but it's a different cold. Like in South Africa, things are in the US are kind of built to withstand the heat and withstand the cold.
Yeah.
In South Africa, it's more mild and it's not as cold, so things are not as uh, like kind of designed for the cold. So when it's cold, it's really cold. Like I was always colder in South Africa than I am here,
Well,
because
interesting.
although it's colder here,
Uh,
because you might have cold for 2 months of the year,
uh,
but you got no insulation in your house,
oh
so
wow.
everything just seeps in, and it's like really really cold for like maybe 2 weeks of the year. But those 2 weeks, man, you're like you know 3 layers of clothing, and you just freeze everywhere you go, and
Yeah.
then it gets better.
Yeah. Well, that actually that's funny because I think a while back, I don't know, like a while back in Texas, they had that huge freak winter storm that came through,
Yes,
like
yes.
their windmills and stuff. Like, how were how were you during that time?
No, we were fine. Well, firstly, I make all my own food, so
Right.
if nowhere is open, that's fine because I don't care to go
Yeah.
buy food. I just make my own. And for us, I remember that we left the Sunday night was about 8 o'clock.
Mm,
We left work, and then Monday we were kind of snowed in. Yeah, it was Nicole's birthday. So she's just like waving at the back there. She's like, "Yeah, it was her birthday. It was on her birthday, the Sunday." And we
right.
left, and it was all snow. So we drove home, got there, and then we woke up the next morning, and there wasn't power. So I made a fire outside,
Yeah.
and we made coffee on the fire, and we just cooked on the fire, and it was like camping, man. And
Yeah.
everybody was having a meltdown, and I'm like, but it's like camping. It's just so cool. And we can't go work because we never off. So I'm like, it's like we can't go to work, so we have to stay at home. It's like
Yeah.
such a cool day, and everybody was having a meltdown, and I'm like, I don't understand because we're just
Well,
camping a little bit.
yeah, and you have to. I think it kind of goes with it that like even like places like Louisiana and stuff when they get hit with something that they've never, because usually places like that, like Texas, Louisiana, all that stuff, they don't have the items that we. Because I am in Indiana, right? I'm
Yes,
in Indiana, so we have that on every year. But down
yes,
there, it's sort of a rare occurrence. So like the
yes.
trucks and salt and all this stuff, it's not there.
No,
So
it's not.
yeah,
There's none of that. So when it snows real bad, it's like everybody here just gets stuck. They can't do anything about it,
oh
you
yeah,
know. But people they freak out like really easily, and I don't
yeah,
understand because even if you get real upset, the power doesn't care. It's not going to come back.
yeah.
It doesn't get intimidated.
Yeah, no, that was funny too because I remember one of the news things I saw was like they were talking about how like it was so cold that the windmills like the big
Yeah,
giant windmills froze, and I'm like, wow, that's cold.
yeah. No, it was cold. It was, I think it was 12 degrees.
Holy
And
crap.
it, yeah, in Texas, I mean, like people here don't understand that. But it was, I think it was like 12 degrees, and then there was still a wind chill factor as well. So it was
Oh,
cold. It was a freak storm.
oh yeah. No, I think the coldest it's gotten here was like at one. I think it was like last winter. It was like one day. One day it got down to -10.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
and so
that's cold. Wow.
yeah. Now, obviously, for those who don't know, Alaska gets much colder
Yes.
than that. But
Yes.
like but they're built for that sort of thing. You know,
Yes.
they can whatever. But like someplace like where I live, like your car may or may not start.
Yes.
That's how bad that cold is.
Yes. No, it was interesting, those couple of days. And then, of
Yeah,
course, everything starts thawing out like 3 days later, and it's just a
yeah.
mud mess,
Oh yeah,
because then you'll have it maybe at like 40, 4 or 5 days later, it's 40 degrees out, so everything melts and it's just mud.
oh yeah.
So it's interesting. Texas is
That's
weird
yeah.
like that.
Well, no, it's just that because I've not been to myself Texas, but I've talked to many people from there, who've been on DaraChat, and um, it certainly has its points of like some people cheaper to live and all the other stuff, because there's a whole political side to it. But I mean, it's just in an area where um it's just in an area where it's like Florida, right? Like Florida
Yes,
stays warm all year round. It may get like a slight chill, like 40 degrees, but it
yes,
doesn't go any farther than that.
yeah.
And
Texas gets in it. I mean, we've had a few, like I think about 3 days now, or 3 times where it's maybe 2 days at a time, and it goes to, I don't know, like 26. But that's about the worst of it so far. January. But they said this is going to be a colder winter. It feels colder than last year. Last year's winter was real mild, and even the summer was real mild. It wasn't crazy.
yeah,
So
cause I mean, obviously last year the snow came like it didn't really snow, and the cold and snow didn't really come into like January of this
yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah,
And then this year, sort of like mid, like towards the end of November, that's when the snow and stuff started coming. It's like, wow, that's coming real early.
yeah. Yeah, this year it seems. I mean, there's colder days this year than there was last year, for
uh,
sure. So they said we're going to have a colder winter. So we'll see. And sometimes it's good for the winter to be real cold. It kind of kills
yeah.
all the bugs, and we can start afresh.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm not a mosquito fan, but such is life. But I mean, so it's just fascinating that you're down there, you're doing all this stuff, and I mean, I know you guys outreach to, like, many different people. Like I know you guys work with Gina, right?
Yes.
Gina and some other people quartering and all that stuff. You've reached out to a whole bunch of people. Like, do you know how many people you are like you work with per se? Like the
Ooh, I think, how many people do we work with? 20, 20, 30. I don't. We got a pretty good list. It's like, um, I don't keep track. I just like, like add that guy. He seems like about 25 people,
oh,
25 creators. Yeah.
that's not bad. I mean, just speaking from my experience, I can't remember how it happened. I just know you guys showed up in my stream from, I don't know if it was like Neuro or something like that, because you guys know
Yeah,
Neurodivergent.
it's normally Nero. Yeah, he probably like raided from somewhere,
Uh,
and we end up with a few things like that. Where we get raided somewhere, and I'm like, yeah, this seems pretty cool.
yeah,
We should like reach out, and I don't mind. Like especially I like the smaller creators because you reach different people.
yeah,
So you reach a different audience, and I like small guys that do stuff. I mean, there's a huge space for everybody to get involved,
yeah,
and I find smaller creators, especially like small guys,
Yeah.
they've got some pretty cool people in their chats, that just like to hang around and
Mm.
just to kind of talk, figure out what's going on. It's pretty cool. So we like to try and get involved with some of the smaller guys. Of course, people that are not too nonsense. We also gotta
Yeah.
watch. There's some guys that maybe I don't want to be involved with those guys.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but
that's
no, we like to get involved with the smaller. That's why like Dear Sarge, he's one of the guys, and then Gina,
mm,
she's on the list now, and who else is small? I mean, I think we're sending you stuff now. We got oh,
yeah.
the first guy we sent, Dozer.
Oh,
Uh,
bulldozer,
yeah,
bulldozer. Yep.
Bulldozer. So we send him stuff. He's probably, I think Bulldozer was the first small guy we got involved with.
Oh, okay.
And Common Uncensored. Yeah, Common Uncensored. We've got him.
Okay.
So most guys. I mean, we just send some biltong. So the guys at least have something. Like a thank you from us. You know.
Eric Pizza.
Yeah. So
Pizza. Yeah.
we just agreed to do a small sponsorship for his show for the year.
Oh
So I was
wow.
just on the phone with him earlier today.
Wow.
And I said, okay, we'll do an episode a month, and then we'll do a giveaway a month for his show. So we'll physically sponsor his
Yeah.
programs one a month,
Yeah.
and then we've got so on that. I like Rumble. I really
Yeah.
like Rumble. I try and do as much as I can on Rumble,
Yeah.
but there are a few guys that's not big on Rumble, so
Yes.
we kind of bleed over into the YouTube space with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we work a little bit with Luke Radowski, which is from Tim Pool's kind of crew.
Yeah. Mm.
So we just did something with him for now, December, because December sales kind of pick up. So we got some stuff out there, and we'll do some work with him next year. And then we work with a guy called Jack Spierko,
Mm.
who does the survival podcast. He's got like almost 4,000 podcasts out there. Yeah, he's got a lot of content. He does
Wow.
homesteading and Bitcoin and man, all kinds of stuff, like all off the grid type stuff. Very cool guy.
Mm.
Um, so we do some work with him, and then there's another guy. He used to be called the Veteran Biker, Ben
Mm.
Dykes. So he's just a conservative podcaster, but he doesn't seem to get traction on Rumble for some reason.
Yeah.
So he's big on YouTube. He's got, I don't know, a couple of 100,000 followers on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we do some stuff with him.
No,
Yeah,
and I mean, first off, that's a good idea because obviously, as a business, you want to spread as while what's the word? While checking over the people you want to get involved with, you still want to reach out on many different platforms
yeah,
because your, I mean, your product is very much something that anyone can have. If
correct.
they're not allergic to like certain things or whatever. But I mean, it makes sense to kind of be all over because, like for me, I stream to both arenas, but I do a little better on Rumble than YouTube. But I still grow
Yes,
on YouTube.
yes,
Still
yes,
use the
yes,
tools, and of course, like I said earlier, you guys have a channel over on Rumble and YouTube as well
correct,
for
correct.
eating Antons.
Yes.
You sh-
And we'll see if we can amp that up a little more next year. I just want to, we'll we got 21 acres of like nothing. So there's
Mhm.
a lot of things we're going to have to do. So I was thinking of streaming. We basically did some food
Yeah,
cooking and stuff like that. So I'll actually, we want to see if we can't do a little more,
yeah,
kind of just stuff we do around the property.
yeah,
Just stream some things like that, but like a little more homesteading
yeah.
and cooking, of course. So it'll get a little different, yeah,
Yeah.
next year.
Well, yeah, IRL, I think IRL stuff is usually pretty good because people want to see like I mean even for you guys without getting too far because there are some things you don't want to show people but
Yeah, yeah,
I
of
mean
course, of course.
but I mean to be able to show people like okay so how does this work like the inside of your store right like you do have a convenient sort of store there
Yes,
um
yes,
and you could show like people like oh this is what we sell here and all the stuff you
yes.
see online is here too and
That's right. Yeah, we did a live stream one New Year's, and we were actually busy moving shelves around.
Right.
in the store. So
Right.
so while we had, I don't know, a couple of people on and we were just talking nonsense, and
Yeah.
that's probably more of what the only reason we haven't done a lot of streaming is because we had a really hard time with data.
Yeah.
So we got a kind of data link now, but all our buildings are metal,
Mm.
so it won't like exit the building. So it's good inside the one building where it's installed. As soon as you go outside, it's like, all right, we have a bit of a hard time with the data. So we're gonna look into some Starlink stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll get it sorted.
Yeah, because I know. Oh, thank you, Rumble Quacker. And a Rumble Quacker says, "Greetings, Dara, Anton, Queen. Found Biltong originally on sticks. Seeing you all over now. I pray for your success building your future. The struggles you had prior to the move were unfair."
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. We uh, I guess we don't align with everybody's politics, so
Yeah,
that gets a few people hot under the collar, the
yeah.
political thing.
Well,
Funny when
I'm.
you.
There
Wi-
you
wi-
go. For Rumble Quacker. That's those are what those up there are, the
Oh,
post-it
okay,
notes.
good. I got it.
Yeah. No, and that and Live Search has a question. Live Search asks, "Have you considered Starlink for?" Well, no, you just said that. I think you just said
Yeah.
Starlink, but it says for
So
internet
the
and you.
Unify for mesh network, I'll look into that. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. I just got a Netgear pretty decent router,
Mm,
but turns out when the buildings are metal, like nothing gets out of them. Nothing gets
yeah.
in, nothing gets out. So
Yep.
even our cell phones, like when you're in the building, like you got to be in a certain spot, otherwise you have a hard time with the coverage. So I'll look at the. Let me write that down. Unify. Um,
Unify Starlink and Unify UNIFI for a mesh network.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I'm definitely looking at Starlink. It's just because we're a business, so Starlink is immediately more expensive when it's business.
Yeah.
It works different than for personal use. It's all more expensive.
Residential.
People get it. It's like $2,000 to set up. Which I was like, man,
No.
we spent so much money. Do I want to spend another $2,000 on that?
Yeah.
But then, we've spent so much money. Like another $2,000 is not a lot of money in the greater scheme of things. But we want to try and not burn through cash for no reason. So
Yeah.
we'll get that set up. Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I don't, I think you just do it best what you can. Cause I mean, again, like you said, you guys are pretty busy, especially with the holiday coming up, right? You guys are gonna be
Yes.
busy.
Yeah,
Um,
holidays are so our three busiest times of the year is Christmas is the busiest, and then Easter is pretty busy, and then Thanksgiving. Those are the and I guess 4th of July, around that holiday. Those are the busy times. For the rest, I mean, you kind of push as hard as you can.
yeah,
Um, I mean, the reason we kind of got involved with the content guys. Um, I just thought to myself, man, we have a pretty good product and it's pretty healthy.
yeah,
And I don't quite know how to get people to know about it
yeah,
except to go on, some kind of social media. And I've been working on the podcast angle for, man, I guess for like a year before something happened. So I was on sticks. Um, let me try and just put it together. So I was, during 2020, like shit went stupid. Like
yeah.
everybody went stupid and everybody went crazy, and then we had a little bit of socialism mixed in there. The last couple of years,
Uh,
but it was very hard with YouTube because YouTube would just censor people, and YouTube chat's difficult because if you type anything wrong in the chat, it just won't post. Like you
mm,
can't get the chat to run
mm,
because the YouTube algorithms kind of limit you.
yeah,
And I remember I was on sticks. I was listening to Steven Crowder, and I still remember Stefan Molyneux just getting like completely
yep,
destroyed, blocked off, and I was
yeah,
like, wow, this is not good. And then Crowder was there, but he was having a hard time, and I was just kind of trying to think, well, how do I get this product out and let people know? And I was on sticks, and he mentioned Rumble, and I thought, let me check this out. So I went on Rumble, man, and it was rough. This is like I
yeah,
think 20. It was very rough,
yeah,
and I kind of looked at it, and I downloaded the app, and it didn't work well. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, this stuff doesn't work. So I went back to YouTube, and he kept on pushing Rumble. And I thought, you know what, let me look at it again. And it was probably a week or two late, or not a week, maybe a couple of months. And I went back on Rumble, and the app seemed a little better.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, well, let me give this a try. And when I downloaded it and I got the live chat, because I just used to listen on YouTube. I never went into the live chat really because it's so limited. And if you type stuff, it blocks you. And I was like, ah, man, I
Yeah.
don't have time for that. You can't really express yourself properly, and then there's some issue.
Mm.
Um, and then I saw the Rumble chat, and I was like, man, this looks pretty cool. So I just started saying like good morning, and then Sticks used to read chats. And I used to listen to him, but I never realized like he's reading live chat. So I see the chat come up, and I see Sticks reading it, and I'm like, oh, I never knew that's how it worked, because I just had my phone in my pocket listening to the podcast. I never realized like live chats was a thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then I posted a chat, and I asked him, would you mind if I like put my product on your channel? Would you read it? And he's like, no, no problem.
Mm.
So I did the first one, and he read it, and then he didn't want to read it after that. And I was like, all right, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm too much of a, like, I'm putting an ad, and I shouldn't put an ad. I should just engage people.
Yeah.
And then I tried that, and he read it, and then I sent him a message, and I on X.
Mm.
That's the time I joined X. I was like, all right, let me join X, because it looks like the guys are kind of hanging around X.
Yeah.
At that time it was Twitter, but it's like X, like that's where the guys are hanging. So let me see if I can get a hold of him. And I messaged him, and he answered, and I said, look, I don't want to do this if you don't like it, because I don't want you to feel that I'm intruding on your chat, and I don't want you to feel obligated to read it. And he said, no, it's fine. And that's
Mm.
where it started. And from Sticks came Jeremy, and then Viva, and
Mm.
Luke,
Yeah.
and so on
Yeah.
and so forth.
Because I mean, and that kind of funny enough, Lord Decken was asking. I says, "Can you ask Anton about his genius super chat marketing and how he came up with that?" So I guess
Oh,
he
there
got
you
that.
go.
I guess he got that question answered. But I mean, it makes sense because, like, for me, in trying to, I didn't do a super chat. It was more of like I knew the person. So what happened is I do another show. It's called Rumble Squared, which is sort of my try at gathering people's feedback, use the platform to find out where they're at in their use of and all that stuff. And so I did it only once, but when trying to like promote my Rumble Squared, I was like, you know what? Rumble has that sort of campaign thing, right? Where you can read
Yeah,
off a thing or whatever. Well, why not just cut out the middleman and just, if you know the person, like, hey, would you be willing to do this for like so and so amount, right? Like
yeah,
you do with a super chat, right?
yes,
But you're also cutting out like having to use a Rumble rant and all that stuff, and you want them to be able to in this day and age, right? Whether it be commission work, whatever, you want to be able for them to fulfill their role first before money gets exchanged. Because
yes,
I'm not saying there aren't good people out there who are willing to do and all this stuff, but it's like you do have a lot of people out there that are willing to take the money and run, and you
yeah,
might not get your stuff out there. So the point of the matter though is that I'm sort of in that field that kind of just went with that person, said, would you be able to do this, I'll give you that amount, whatever, and I cut out all that middleman. With that right there, that's
yes,
basically like that's probably the new ad way of doing it, really,
yes.
without paying thousands of dollars. You have to pay
Oh,
thousands of
exactly.
dollars.
I mean, some of it is expensive, man. It's like, you look at the ad and the cost, and I'm like, I can't recover. Like I won't make money, like anything out of this, because I know generally, when someone kind of does a ad for you, I know what we get out of it. And some of the guys, the amount of money they want, it's just like, we'll never ever make even close to what we're going to pay.
Mm,
And well, what it has done is it has brought prices down, unless it's the really popular guys.
mm,
So it is a little cheaper, so it's more achievable. But so here's the thing:
mm,
you can't you can't do I've seen, once I started doing this, because it took me a long time to kind of figure out, all right, how am I going to do this, and what do I need to do, So just to drop a chat doesn't work.
Yeah.
You have to be involved in the chat,
Yeah.
and then you can drop a chat. But you also got to engage people, and you got to actually engage people for the sake of engaging people, not for the sake of trying to sell them products.
Right, right. Yeah,
You
understandable.
see,
Yeah.
because anybody can be a kind of second hand car salesman,
Yeah.
but if you actually like, there's a lot of people that I now know in chat, and I talk to them, and I know, you know somebody's got a kid that's sick, and somebody else is getting a divorce, and so
Yeah.
you can ask them, so how's things going, how's your move going, everything all right now, I know your car got totaled, did you get a new car, did the insurance sort you, so you kind of get a little more personal with people, because you're not just trying to sell them a product. Even if they don't buy from you, I'm still interested in what's going on with the people,
Yeah.
especially people that are in the chats consistently. And that's the thing, is the consistency of it. So you got to be in the chat all the time, and not just do a like a rand drop. You can't just put some money and put an ad and then go. You have to kind of be there for the most part and talk to people, and that works pretty well, which most companies don't do. They'll just pay the creator, and the creator will drop something for them, and then it's done.
Yeah.
I find the way we do it, to kind of getting to engage, that's where the magic is, and you have to be consistent. So you got to be there every day. So you can't, or at least the majority of the week.
Yeah.
If you're not there the majority of the week, then it just doesn't work. You kind of waste your money.
Right. And the funny thing with with you guys is I kind of when again going back to when you got in my chat, like you had asked about send us your address and we'll send you some.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think, I mean, even though it is a bit of a financial detriment because you are kind of giving away a product for free, but you gave away a product that and ends up being a payback because of just the taste level stuff. Like for me, I took it. So I went to a family event and I took it with me, and some of my family members like, yeah, I don't like it. So I was like, oh well, that's interesting. So I was like,
I feel the same. It's like, why don't you like it? Is something wrong with you? It's good. Yeah, that's good.
well,
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it was just one of those things. But like for me, I enjoy it, and I try to be reasonable about it because the only other thing I promote on my platform is the Proton stuff, which I'm part of their partner program,
yeah,
Proton Mail, all that sort of thing,
yes, yes,
and
yes,
it's the only thing because I don't want to be a seller because you see a
yes,
lot of
yes, yes,
content creators be that. And that's nothing
yeah,
against like if they're business, right? If you're a business, all the stuff you got product to sell because you want to keep in business, all the stuff. But for me, it's just like you guys are making something great that I enjoy,
yes.
and I'll share it with people, but they have to decide whether they want it
Correct.
to or not. I
But
don't want
that's
to force
why
it down
that's
on them.
why we send, before we decide to, and it's not just from our side. Before, like, I'll see somebody, have a podcast. I think it's pretty cool. They're doing interesting things, and I'll ask them, listen, can I send you some product? Then you decide if you like it. If you don't like it, then we just stop there, because I don't ever want anyone to promote something for the sake of money. If they don't believe in the product and they don't like a product from me,
Yeah.
then we don't do any business, because I don't want them to lie. I'd rather them just say, you know what, this is not good, and then we know, and you don't like it, then we just stop there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's why like I don't expect anything from it because I didn't, when you start expecting when you start expecting something from it, you get that kind of like schnobbiness. Like there are
Yeah,
some people that get
exactly.
little schnobbies.
Well, that's the thing. So we've had a lot of people, like we'll send people product, and they'll ask me, so what do you want from me? And I'm like, nothing. Like, just mention it, say you like it, if you
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why you'll see. I don't send people. I mean, you can ask all the people we work with. I never ask them, for a specific. I want a 2 minute speech on. No, it's like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You do what you want. I mean, I'm gonna keep sending you product, and you mention it as it fits your show. And the problem is, like, with bigger guys, like Luke always asks me, so how do you want me to promote it? And I'm like, dude, whatever works for your channel, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to foretell you what you need to do on your channel. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You tell me, how much it is and what what the kind of bartering is going to be, and you decide how you promote it. Because if it's not authentic, people can feel, well, yeah, this is kind of plastered on, and I don't like that. You know?
Yeah. No, and that's what I found fascinating with it, because not only like talking about the Rumble rant or super chat thing, well, more Rumble rant because you can do more with Rumble rants than super chats.
Yes.
But not only with that, but you're also doing this sort of you're doing what they call I feel it's called the word of mouth sort of thing, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it's slow, it is slow, but
Yes.
it has a longer lasting effect because all you need is like one person, and that person can tie to another and another and
Correct.
another, and
Correct.
soon you have this whole wide mesh of people. Like, I'm pretty sure you ship all over the United States at this
Oh yeah.
point.
Yeah. We ship all over. Yeah. So the thing is, I think there's um I feel if you come in with a bunch of money and you do this huge marketing campaign, you you're going to see a lot of sales real quick, and then it's going to kind of die
Yeah,
down. You know,
yeah,
so it's like putting a whole lot of gasoline on a bunch of wood, and it's going to burn bright, and it's going to be gone.
yeah,
Where we'll rather just kind of feed the fire a little bit and feed it
yeah,
and just keep feeding it. And you just have a good fire going, and you just
mhm,
keep it going. And that way, and you grow it slowly but surely. You make it bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's never this kind of flash fire that's just going to burn everything and then burn out.
yeah,
We want a sustainable business for long. We in for the long haul, and we want to supply people with things that's healthy, that
yeah,
works. For dietary purposes. That
yeah,
there's so much crap in the food. Jack Spierko is there's a podcast where he was talking about the difference between food and feed,
yeah,
and we get so much feed shoved at us that we really want to try and give people proper food that'll nourish you, that'll help with your health and things like that. So we believe we have a very good business, and a very good product. So we rather take it a little slower, take a
mm,
little bit more time, and really give people stuff that's healthy for them.
yeah. I mean, obviously, if you were to compare it to, say, like, buying in store. Now there are people who do make like venison jerky and all that stuff. But if you were to compare it to like the business beef jerky that you get in store, it's a whole lot healthier. A
Oh yeah.
whole lot healthier. You look your list of ingredients, you probably maybe got like 7 to 8 different things. You look at their ingredients, you're looking at maybe 10 to 12
Yes. Yes.
at best.
Yeah, we really try and keep it very, very straightforward. Hold on
Mm.
1 second. I see Michael's looking for you. He's dancing around the corner here. Sorry, my son's dancing around the corner here looking for his mom. She's this side.
Oh. Over there. She's over
Yeah,
there.
I told them, like, don't come near me, man. You gotta stay that side. You gotta keep quiet, and. So
Hey, no goofing off. I'm watching you. I'm watching.
exactly. And I got so none of them had dessert tonight. So I've got the bribery. It's like you make trouble, no dessert. So
Oh
they
man.
all like, all right, we'll just behave.
So, but I mean, yeah, it's all around what you and Miss Nicole do is just one. It's made in America, right? Like, it's a South African traditional thing, but it's made in America, and that's something that you saw, like, what was it, a few years ago. People like, buy made in America, all
Yes,
this stuff.
yes, yes.
And this is one of those things where it is made in America, so you'd think that a lot of people would support that sort of thing because of that, right? Maybe it's not a tool, but we're
Yeah,
getting down to
we
that
we
point.
actually, I think our new bags. Hold on, let me see, because I got the bags here. Yeah, manufactured in the USA. So let me see,
Oh
where's the camera?
yeah,
Let me see. There we go. So is it
yeah,
there? So
yeah, yeah,
which way am I going? There we go. There we go. Down.
yeah.
Yeah, wrong
Manufactured.
side. This
Yep,
way.
yep. I see it. Yep, yep.
Yeah, and it says for Biltong USA. It's actually by Biltong USA, but anyway, we'll get it right at some point. But but yeah, so we source everything locally. We actually make 100% sure that our beef is US beef, because
Yeah,
there's a lot of imports, a lot of kind of Chinese.
Yeah.
So our beef, the Angus comes from small family farms up in the Dakota, so North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska area. And then
Nice.
our Wagyu is Texas
Oh,
Wagyu. It's called US Wagyu, so it's an Angus Wagyu cross, but
yeah.
that's Texas sourced. We like personally know some of the people that actually run that business,
Yeah.
um, and so all our meat is from US farmers. We try and really make sure we get, I mean, I've had the opportunity to like reduce prices and buy. So we don't. One of the biggest suppliers in the US is Tyson Foods. We
Yeah.
do not buy their beef. One of the other ones is National Beef. We do not buy their beef. There's another one, JDL, I think, is the other one. We do not buy their beef.
Right.
All our stuff comes from small family-owned farms. We try and do that because the quality is better. You
Yeah.
got less kind of hormones and crap in it. The animals are fed better, and
Mm.
it shows in the what's the name, in the final product. The product quality is better.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, like you said, you support the local, well, maybe not local because you are like the Dakotas and stuff, but you are
Yeah,
supporting American,
yeah,
families and all that stuff in that regard, and that's pretty awesome.
yeah. And I mean, I'm a I'll probably do my citizenship next year, but I
Uh
mean, I'm full on. America is my country, man.
yeah.
I don't even have a South African flag. I don't pretend like my product is like in any way affiliated with South Africa, except the tradition of
Yeah.
of the way it's made.
Yeah.
My flag has stars and stripes on it. I don't wave. I'm at. I don't know, man. uh, I'm of the opinion if you wave a foreign flag, they should ship you to that country if you like it so much.
Right.
I'm
No,
American, man.
yeah, no, and that's kind of funny because you see like some Hispanics, they'll put on like their cars or whatever. I've seen that a few times.
Yeah,
It was like the
yeah.
Mexican flag.
If it's that great, why are you here?
Yeah.
I mean, and I have that debate with some South Africans. They're like, oh, I miss home. I'm like, yeah, well, nothing stops you from going back, man. You If we were, we obviously didn't do that great because if we did, we wouldn't be here. You know?
Right.
So don't diss the US, man. I got a lot of respect for this country.
Yeah, yeah, and oh, Marcus. Like the lady who I had on, Anjanette, she's a banker, so she's pretty much, her job takes her all over the world,
Yeah,
and it was just kind of fascinating to get here to talk about because again, I think one of the biggest things was during that time period, or at least that was in the news for the time period, was the whole, the white farmer stuff in South Africa and all that. And but the problem of it was is like, okay, is that really what the case is, or is it a little bit different story? And usually the best way to ask about that sort of thing, even though you kind of have to do it in a very, delicate manner, is to ask the people who actually live there like what it's about. And asking her, it really was, her basic point was like, it's really no different than you going to Detroit in Michigan and dealing with that. Like
yeah,
it's not as bad as the news portrays it. It's just there are areas, but it's not all bad.
yes. Well, the problem with the farmers are, so if you go look at um, what they did in China, all right,
Right.
they were talking about the little landlords, and the communists basically convinced the people
Hmm.
that the landlords stole what belonged to them originally.
Right.
Therefore, they killed the landlords to get their quote unquote property back, which is
Hmm.
pretty much what the South African government, I guess, now and prior the ANC, who are a bunch of communists, have done to the population. Is they said, well, all these white guys have taken your land that belongs to you.
Yeah.
So if you just kill them and
Yeah.
take it back, you're not really doing anything wrong, which is where they at now.
Yeah.
So being a farmer in South Africa is the most dangerous job in the world.
Hmm.
It has got the highest casualty rate, and I think it's six. What's it? 600 to 600 per 100,000 murder rate.
Hmm.
Which in the US, I think the average is like 1.5 per 100,000.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
farmers are at like 600 now. war-torn countries like Syria are normally around the 450.
Mm,
So it's more dangerous to be a farmer than to be in like a war-torn country in South
mm,
Africa.
right,
So are they just seeing them and shooting them? No. But is it, are they getting murdered? Absolutely. Are they getting targeted? 100%.
right.
Um, and I mean, black farmers are also suffering because they get kind of caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
But white farmers, and this is the problem in South Africa, is white farmers are singled out and targeted because they, the people who come after them, and a lot of it, I believe, is government involvement,
Yeah.
because they are being told that that land was stolen by the farmers.
Mhm.
Like you get the nonsense here where they're like, well, we're all on stolen land because, we came and took
Yeah.
the, yeah, it's all that bullshit.
Yeah.
No matter people, like if I go and buy a farm now and I buy it from some guy, then
Uh,
I'm also fair game because now I've stolen this land. It's so stupid. It's the dumbest thing. But that's how the communists take over.
right, and that's understandable, like, on that regard, like, I'm not gonna say, like, it doesn't happen. I'm just trying to get the perspective of someone who's actually in that country. Because again, the news me even if it seems like even with some independent people, we're having this trouble of we're not really telling the truth as is, not all, but it does seem like the old 24/7 media you used to see, like CNN and all this stuff, is starting to
Yeah.
have its move into like the new independent sort of thing where it does rely on clicks, it does rely on views, it does
Oh
rely
yeah.
on some form of it. And I'm not saying, again, this is not pointing at all, this is just pointing at a matter of fact that there is a bias of sorts that
Yes.
when you're trying to figure out something like what was happening with the white farmer stuff, does that happen? Yes. But does it happen to the extent that it was being portrayed in the news media? Well, probably not because,
No, no, the media lies, and,
yeah,
and everybody lies for their own narrative. So, but crime in South Africa is bad, like
yeah,
really bad. I mean, I got 4 kids. I wouldn't take them to South Africa. I
right.
just wouldn't because maybe nothing happens. Maybe you get shot and hijacked, and it's
Yeah.
just it's not worth the risk is not worth the reward.
Right. It's no different than going to LA.
No, exactly. I wouldn't go to LA. I wouldn't go to New York. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Don't go to
that's
don't
it.
go to New York, please.
No, no, exactly. I wouldn't go. I mean, I worked in Chicago, but it was on I can't remember which side, but it was Schaumburg, which is a little nicer.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go downtown Chicago. I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go to New York. I wouldn't take my kids to any of those places because I don't
yeah.
think there's anything worth seeing there more than the risk is of what could happen. So it's like no.
Oh my gosh, you gave me an idea of doing something where you bring on people, not you, but like bringing on people who are coming from those areas and then talk about what is the difference between what is actually happening from their point of view
Yes,
versus what is being
that's actually a
portrayed.
good idea. That's
Yeah.
actually a good idea.
Because you talked about Chicago, right? I actually have someone who I've had on before, Paul Hudukin, who actually lives in Chicago, sort of, I think, close to the south side of it. And he has a different perspective. And so that,
Yes,
again, that's what I'm trying to capture is I'm not trying to look to gotcha someone. I'm simply
yes,
saying, we that person over there has a different perspective of what's going on versus what is being shown by like, the news
yes,
media of all
yes,
sorts. And we
yes,
don't and we really we as people don't want to fall into this sort of returning scape of where we hear this in the media and we think that is the full truth when actually it could be a mixture of things. The middle road, right? Like it's
yes,
in the middle
yes,
of the
yes,
road.
yes, yes,
And I really feel on that, but it's like I'm not I'm not a journalist. I'm just trying to find that like that
yes,
space of where it doesn't make sense on the either extreme because we're human beings to some point are just this land of extremes at a certain point. I'm just
too
like
much
I can't.
propaganda, man. People are really getting their ears bent too much, I guess.
Yeah. No,
And
and
then depending on what those who push the propaganda want, depends on what comes over the news. And
yeah.
it's real scary is when you see like 50 news channels and they all say the exact same thing. You're like, man, I don't want to watch that anymore. I don't want
Merry
to watch that.
Christmas.
Yes, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah. No, and that's probably more or less a good thing is just to turn it off because at the end of the day, like I there are things that are going to happen that will affect us all, and you do want to know that stuff, right?
Yes,
Because you have a family and stuff. But then sometimes it's really just like you said, it's just utter nonsense, and it's like, what's the point of wasting my time with it? You're running a business. Why would I want to waste 2 hours on Fox News when I could waste two
yeah,
hours on making my business better and that sort of thing?
yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I don't think I think the biggest wake up moment I had was when James O'Keefe got Jeff Zucker on camera admitting the like Russia hoax thing. They
Mhm,
knew it was nonsense,
mhm,
and it was Jeff Zucker and from CNN, and there was someone from NBC, and
mhm.
they both basically admitted that it's about money, it's about clicks for them,
Yeah.
and they know it's nonsense, but they push it anyway because they get money out of it. And
Mhm.
I watched these videos on that time on YouTube. I think it was 2017,
Yeah.
and I thought to myself, why is this not like national news?
Mhm.
And I thought, why is nobody talking about this? Like these guys got caught red-handed lying to everyone,
Yeah.
and it's not national news. And I was like, yeah, this is bullshit. And I
Yeah.
just stopped watching all mainstream media. It was like February 2017 or something, and I just stopped. I
Yeah.
never ever watched Fox News, CNN, or anything after that again because I knew it was all lies. And I just like woke up right there, and I was like, yep, that's it, I'm done. And that's why I spend so much time on like Sticks and Stefan Molyneux and Crowder and everybody else. I mean, at that time, I think 2015, 16, I watched a bit of Ben Shapiro,
Yeah.
and I just got a real bad feeling about that guy. I'm like, you know what, man? When you see independent people talk about stuff, generally, everybody has kind of a take on things, and then
Yeah.
Shapiro was just certain things he wouldn't talk about, like it just
Yeah.
wouldn't come on his show, and I was like, this guy's paid opposition, man. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not listening to him anymore. So I like stopped listening to Daily Wire, but I completely switched off the mainstream media in like 2017. I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm not listening to these guys anymore.
Well,
All
and
right.
it's yeah, and it's a funny thing you brought up James O'Keefe, but he got outed by his own company and he had to
Yeah.
start a new company.
Yes, 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 yes. That's man. The amount of backstabbing just everywhere. It's crazy. You would
Oh,
you would think but that's the problem. I just heard yesterday for some unknown reason I was busy working and I saw Crowder was live. So I thought, man, I haven't been in one of his streams for like forever. So I popped in, and turns out that the Angel Studios are also up to like nefarious things, and they're supposed to be the like conservative people you want your kids to listen to, and now they're also busy with stuff. So I'm like, oh,
right.
there's no one you can trust, man.
Well, and they did the whole Sound of Freedom thing. That which it pretty much Sound of Freedom put Angel Studios on the mark.
Yes,
Like
yes,
like like there's if you did not have the movie Sound of Freedom and you had all the other movies after that, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't know about
yes,
them because
yes.
Sound of Freedom was that one movie that put them on there, and it
And
was
put
such
them
a
on the
good
map.
message.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was such a good message for it to be shared because the problem of it is that that's sort of thing that goes on daily, and we're kind of busy with our own lives until it
yeah,
affects us.
yes,
But yeah, it is one of those things where it's like it almost feels like if something gets too big and
yeah,
they kind of forget their way, the root of why they were doing things, it does kind of feel like that they become this sort of, I don't know, this sort of it's android sort of thing where it's like a cyber
yes,
mess up. It
yes.
really.
No, exactly. It's like when it gets too big, it's like too many people, their fingers in the pie, and then everybody just wants the money, and then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, whatever makes the money, just do that. And it's like, no, it's like they sell their souls or something.
Right. Well, and again, that can be yeah, the candid stuff, but it's like it can be the whole content creation thing too, where you have that sort of thing. Like it's a big field out here, the content creation with like any platform, just any platform that's out there. It's all this sort of thing. Like once money got involved with it, it's unsure of like why people some will say their reason, which is fine. But there are times where you aren't sure because again, money is involved in this very nature of why people create content when there wasn't before, right? Oh,
Sorry,
I
I
think
think my data's messing around. I'm sorry, man.
no, no,
Is
no,
it?
no, no. No, yeah,
Yeah,
you froze
my
for a
data.
bit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
froze a bit.
You froze on my side, so I'm like, yeah, it's good. No, it's probably nighttime. Yeah, right. No, it's probably nighttime. So we got like one tower, and then everybody in the area has to share that tower. Now everybody's probably streaming their favorite TV show at like
Oh
7. So
man.
it's like, oh, now we got less data.
No, no.
You
I was just saying the when you're talking about the money thing for like all that stuff, it's like it's same thing with content creation,
Yeah,
where that sort of like monetization has sort of it can help in some manner, but it's sort of changed the field a bit of what is content creation in general, right?
yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure you remember back in the day when like YouTube was starting out and there really wasn't much of anything other than people uploading videos. Now it's become this sort of business making amalgamation of things, and it's fascinating, but it's also disastrous, it feels
yeah.
like.
Well, the thing is, I almost feel like people do something, become popular, and then they're scared of becoming unpopular, so they don't want to quite do the thing that made them popular. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? They kind of back down a little, get a little more careful. That's where like I really like Sticks. Sometimes even to his own detriment.
Yeah.
He's like brutally honest, but then sometimes like I would just like him not to keep shooting himself in the foot. That would
Right.
be very good.
Yeah.
but I've kind of stood by Sticks because he was the first guy I kind of worked with. So
uh,
I just like I'll always work with Sticks, no matter how crazy he gets.
yeah.
But it would be nice if he sometimes just doesn't shoot himself in the foot.
Yeah.
That would be good. But Viva, I found is a very kind of level-headed guy, and he just
Yeah.
does his thing, and he doesn't go to any more or less extreme. So he's kind of popular, and he just does his thing, and he
Yeah.
doesn't kind of back down, and he doesn't go overboard. He's just a very kind of balanced guy, and I really like that because what to expect.
Mm,
Um, but some of the guys you can see, like, as the popularity grows,
mm.
but you're like, yeah, I don't know if this is not the guy I started working with like 18 months ago. It's like I don't know if I like him anymore. He seems a little either too far over one way, or I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I've always been cautious of in that sense, because I enjoy being able to do this with the people I get to have on, because it's just far reaching in that manner of who to talk to, a creator or not. Like I've talked to
Yeah,
people who aren't creators. Anjanette wasn't a creator. Flex Gamer is a creator. Just a whole mountain of people, and there's always more to get the chance. Like yourself, like
yeah.
getting to talk to you is a privilege and no right. But anyway, it is the top of the hour. So what happens, Anton, is that I set aside some time for me and my guests to promote our stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I copied some of the links like to your Rumble and YouTube stuff, and also the website. So give me, let's see, there we go. So if you want to promote your stuff like the gentleman you are, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, thank you. You guys can find me on X. I don't say much, I guess, on X. I try and share a couple of interesting things, but I'm king underscore of underscore Biltong on X, and then our food channel is Eat at Anton's on Rumble and YouTube, and then everything else is at biltongusa.com. Yeah, just go there, and you can find ways to contact us. We are, I guess, which is probably different to a lot of people. We are actually publicly accessible. So if you come to our store, you'll meet both myself and Nicole. You can talk to us. We are here. Which is someone asked me the other day. They said you doxed yourself, and I'm like, no, dude. Everybody knows where I am. Doxed myself on my website, and you can find me here.
Yeah,
That is also why we are armed. So
yeah. There you
if
go.
you're nefarious, tread cautiously.
Yeah. Hey, it look weird. It's like a viper. You get people. You may look nice on the inside, but you get a little rough, and you can just snap right at them.
Yeah, exactly. So we try and be nice, but if we've had a few instances of people trying to be less nice.
Oh man. That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, we've had some tampering on our cars and things like that, you know. So that's why we are out here in the sticks, because if someone messes around here, I do have an excavator and I do have a big piece of land.
Listen, you're gonna get buried, but they won't know where you are. So
Exactly. Look for the big tree, the big green tree. One of the big features.
we'll, we'll make a map of where you're at, and people have to figure it out.
That's right. That's right.
Oh goodness! But again, his links are there on both the Rumble and YouTube side because I do stream to both. And again, if you want to check out where he's at, I usually X or Rumble, but the
Yeah,
website is a good checkout too. And we'll get there for mine and stuff. But yeah, there's the links, so give a look if you want. But of course, for my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or YouTube side, because I do stream to both,
yeah,
regardless, is if you wouldn't mind. Oh, there we go. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be. I mean, it's just that part of that nature. I've only met one though that doesn't want to be seen, and he's been a guest on my show a few times. So that's that's when you know. But it helps in also having other people on, like the King of Biltong, like Tomby, like Gina, like so many other people. At the end of the day, I've had on over 300 various guests,
wow.
and globally at this point,
Yeah,
Australia, Norway, Finland, South Africa. I mean, it's Vietnam,
yeah,
obviously Vietnam, but it's just a great being able to do this is such a great honor in itself because of all the different perspectives and whatnot that are out there. So any help with the engagement factor of it not only helps with the being seen part, but it also helps with all those other people getting on. And again, I talk to people who aren't creators. I have Slidey Pie, who's a guest I've had on, is not a content creator, and
yeah.
Jeanette's not a content creator. I've had so many people who aren't content creators on. It's just amazing in its own right. So any help on either end for the engagement factor is much appreciated. And of course, my links. Give me 1 second. There we go. My links are all here. Um, there in that link is my Twitter X, my email. I have a Discord link in there, but it's mostly just for DMing. I don't have a Discord server. I've heard enough horror stories. Not interested. I have a full time job, so I only have so much. I only have so much mental bandwidth. All right,
Right.
it's a long enough day. But anyway, all my stuff is including my Rumble and YouTube links are in there too. So if you want to find out where I'm at, I'm in there as well. And of course, a few things that I promote. Obviously, of course, like I was talking to the King earlier about, is I am part of Proton's partner program. And so what that is like I'm promoting their Proton Unlimited plan, which is sort of like the whole suite of things. You know, if you've ever heard like the Word suite, like Word, Excel, all that stuff. This is sort of like their Proton Drive, Proton Mail, Proton VPN, and Proton Pass. And there's just all different things that include in it when you do that plan. I do it myself. I use Proton on a daily basis, and Proton is a very privacy-centered company.
Yeah,
Um, but but again, I use it on a daily basis, and I just promote it for the benefit of for others. I can make money off it, but it's not really about that. I just know that you hear the stories of companies getting hacked, passwords getting leaked, all that stuff. You would think you'd want to deal with someone who's a bit more privacy centered. Nothing's 100% on the internet. No one, no matter what anyone says, nothing's 100%. But it's still worth looking into. And you can go to the link right there. You can look at all the stuff they offer and extra. And if you do decide to take it up, well, you can save some money on like the annual of it, like or yearly. Some people may not know what annual means, so I have to say yearly. So you can save on the yearly of it. And all that stuff. So even if you don't take it, that's fine. Guess what? It's just an option for later because again, I'm promoting it for the benefit of all, not for myself. Even
yeah. I've
though,
heard good things about Proton. So
yeah,
well, Crowder uses Proton Mail.
yeah,
So
that is
that
true.
says a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, they do it for their tip line. I think it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
correct. So and those guys, I mean, they deal with some serious things. So
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely,
oh yeah. And of course, and of course, the second one I promote, of course, is the one we've been talking about this whole time. Is of course Biltong.
of course, of course.
Where the most funniest meta thing you could do is have the person who actually owns the business and then you're promoting it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Well, that happens to us, you know, because we actually go, we actually get involved with people, you know. We actually talk on the chats. We actually get involved with everyone. So yeah,
yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, like I was saying to, like I was saying earlier, like they came from a different chat of mine, and of course, I think it was Miss Nicole who sent a chat thing like, "Hey, email us here,
yeah,
email your address here, and then we'll send something to you." And that's how the whole thing started. Like I didn't ask for, other than saying, give my address and starting the whole thing. I really
yeah,
didn't ask for any of it because, I don't, like you were talking about earlier, you want people to know your product so they can give an honest review of
yeah,
all this
yeah.
stuff.
And I don't want anyone who doesn't like it to promote it. I mean, and again, like you found, you know, I'm surprised when I found it, but there are people that don't like it, and that is all good. We do not pretend to try and you know, have everybody like it. Those who
Mm,
do, you know, I like them to you know, promote the product if they like it, and
yeah,
that's how we work with everybody. You like it, then we go from there.
yeah, and no, and for me, I mean, I can only speak for myself. I like I said earlier, I did take it to a family event, and a big chunk of my family was like, "No." So that was right. There's like, really? It's like that's like 6 people down. I think that's.
Yeah, yeah. I,
it-
but I do have to admit, when people say they don't like it, my opinion of them does slightly change. You know, I'm like, I don't know if I like you so much anymore.
I don't trust you with my life.
Yeah. So no, it's, I mean, it's different strokes. You know, the thing is, it is, people get used to certain things, and
Yeah,
this is not that thing. You know,
yeah,
so if you're a jerky guy, this is not your thing. You know,
yeah.
it's different. It's more like prosciutto, but you know, there are people that have their tastes, and that's all good. You know.
Yeah, and no, and again, like you've been stating so far through this, is like it's much more healthier than like the store bought beef jerky because going there you see a bunch of ingredients, sugar, like whole bunch of salt. It's a lot of different preservatives. Your guys' stuff is pretty on par.
Yeah,
Um,
we keep it very natural, man. We have no, like, you know, I always get in the debate where people are like, well, you know, everything's a chemical. It's like, no, dude, there are stuff that's manufactured that's really, really, really bad for you, and we don't
mm,
use those things. You know.
yeah. Well, it's funny enough because I had a lady on who yesterday, a dead mom alive, who was very health orientated, and she was talking like one of the ingredients that she saw on the list that I showed was the Celtic salt, and she
Yes,
said that was like the best thing for you, put it in your water and stuff, because of
exactly.
like 91, 91 things in it for you or something like
Correct.
that,
Yeah, it's
and
got a huge amount of trace minerals because Celtic salt's actually mined still in the old way of mining sea salt in the coast of Brittany in France. So
yeah.
they still use the big clay pots to collect it and dry it and things like
Mm.
that. So it's very, very, very healthy.
Yeah, yeah, and so there's just about amount of that, but again, I promote it for simply the basis of like the kindness that you guys showed because I didn't expect anything from it. I still don't expect anything from it. But like even then, like the code thing to your missus was talking to me about that and doing that and all
Yeah,
that stuff and what that is for is like if people buy something from the store they can use code Dara and save 10% off the wholesale of it, right? Like it's not the wholesale is sort of like whatever's in the cart. The wholesale of the cart is what it
some
means.
of it. So depending, sometimes we open it up. Mostly it's biltong, but there are times like I think it was for Thanksgiving we actually opened the entire store to 10%. But
Oh, okay.
generally, yeah, generally the 10% is for biltong because we control the cost on biltong, so we can do some discounts there. But
Yeah,
you know, the products that sometimes is a little harder because of the imports and the expenses.
yeah,
We already like real cheap. If you compare our prices, we're probably the cheapest in the country on the products
yeah.
we carry.
Yeah, and a lot of it, like, again, there was, like, UK sweets and snacks and drinks,
Yeah.
South African, like, I to give an example, I bought, Earn Brew,
Yes, yes,
uh,
yes.
what I didn't know what it was, I thought it was, like, an alcoholic drink, but I'm like, they wouldn't sell alcohol on their on
No.
their storefront, so I was like, "Okay, what is it?" It's actually just like an orange soda, I think is
Yes,
what they
correct,
yeah,
correct. Yeah, yeah.
and I
I'll ask Nicole. We must send Dara. We got to send him a appetizer and a grape tizer. I think you will enjoy those.
okay.
Next shipment, we'll get one of each of those out. Those are good, man.
Yeah. Well, and I gotta say this though, it's like for me, like when my this is bad, right? This is when you know it's bad. Like when my shipment of Biltong gets low, I'm like, ah, son of a bit.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? We gotta keep you hungry, man.
No, but I mean, for my like, no one can take my take my experience and sort of replicate it. But it's like it is just that good, and and for me, like the first time I got the Biltong, the first shipment, right? I probably had like half a bag done.
Yeah.
That's how good it was. I was like, "Wow."
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. And if you work it into your diet, man, it makes a massive difference on your energy levels and just all
Yeah.
around your health. It's really good. I mean,
It's
I grew up with it. I never knew it was that good, and now I'm like eating it, and it's like, yeah, it's awesome.
well,
Yeah,
and again, and for me, it's just for me, I try to go for the free shipping part, like the
yes,
$60 do the
yes,
free shipping because I've seen the cost of when it's not free shipping.
yes. Well, that's the problem. Is it's because we don't control
Yeah.
the. Yeah, I see my wife being a nonsense there in the uh, we just use UPS, and they calculate the cost for the shipping.
Yeah.
But once it gets to like $60, we can absorb. So it's not like we make a lot of money, but it's again, I got to decide. Okay, so how much do I want to spend on marketing,
Yeah.
or how much would I rather just pay in on shipping and get it into people's hands?
Yeah.
And it's worked pretty well where I'd rather like make very little but get you a product, and if you like it you keep ordering, which means
Yeah.
we keep selling.
Yeah. And
So
I'd
that's
And for me, I'd rather do the the $60 thing because of just it's just for me, I can't do it all the time because obviously, holidays and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but for me, it's sort of like it's just that thing where it helps and condensing it down instead of have to pay like $17
No,
for like to
exactly.
do the
Well,
whole
you getting like a half a pound for free if you get to $60, because the shipping is going to be anywhere between 12 and $20. So you're getting that in product. So, and I see some people, they order and they're like $52. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you just order a little more and then give it to me? Like, I don't understand. And they said they pay $18 for shipping. And I'm like, you paid $52, 18 for shipping. It's more than the 60.
yeah
So why didn't you just do that?
yeah
Sometimes we catch some of them and we try and change it, and just get the guy's stuff for free.
yeah
We add a little bit of product in,
mm,
but for the most part, I mean, when it's busy, we don't control that. The website controls it.
yeah
People say, well, can't you just like, no, I can't just do stuff. The website, it's all modules and plugins and shit. It
yeah.
does what it does. I don't control any of that.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know anything about business, so it's sort of just coming from the outside. But like, I just find that the way you're going about it is probably the best way to do it, especially when you have again going back to like people in bigger companies, they spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, and all you have to do is. And all you really do is maybe spend like a 5 or 10 and say, "Would you read this?" And that's promoting. That's pretty much the new thing
Yeah,
that's going to be the case because or like I was trying to do where I was talking to someone about promoting a show like just the once and saying if I pay you this do if you just read this would I pay this amount and cut out that middleman of like all this
yes,
stuff.
yes,
There's going to be that direct action of like between just as an example, right? Like owner of the business and the creator, where it's just straightforward, not like affiliate
yes,
or those product, whatever you have those things that are now. It's more
yes.
of just like you do this thing, we'll pay you for doing it once it's read, and then once it's read, there are things you have to be careful of because obviously people on either end could, play funny business and then no one
Yes,
gets paid. But if you have a really good relationship with whoever you have, that's a direct one-on-one, and you would rather have that more than have something like with a
exactly.
middleman because that just the middleman thinks stuff like, while it's understandable, especially if you have someone who doesn't understand the that business side or whatever, you do kind of need like a mediator or a
Yes,
translator or whatever. At a certain point, one-on-one, the direct one-on-one is so much more valuable because it takes the headache away of like, and you're busy, right? If you get busy, so it's not always possible, but at least to some degree you'll at least try to get back to them, say, hey, we heard you
no,
and all this stuff.
exactly. Well, that's what I found is, we've built relationships with so many people,
Mm,
um, that, I can talk to many people, and we can arrange all kinds of things to try and help our business, but also help that guy. So what we try and do, is like, I've taken a lot of people to Viva's chat, but I've brought a lot of people from Viva's chat to other chats.
mm,
So you also end up kind of mediating between people, and where you go and you like tell people, well, have you checked this guy out, and then suddenly people start going to that guy's channel, and so everybody kind of helps everybody. Everybody works together. Everybody trusts each other. Nobody's in for any kind of nefarious purposes. We're all just trying to kind of get along, make a living. You
yeah.
know, and I think that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship where it's sort of a,
Exactly.
a give and take to it.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of those parasitics in the essence. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're thinking like the big companies, that's where you could probably see it. But there's just a whole lot of stuff that comes involved that just makes it a bit more messy. Where really, you're going to a point of a symbiotic relationship or like honoring sort of system.
Yes.
Because I think while there is a degree of needing to have a contract and having something you can rely on a legal matter so you're not getting in trouble, but there's also a thing too where it's like many people don't want to have to deal with that and just want to be able to trust that individual
Correct.
and
Correct.
have that sort of relationship. But it's not an easy thing. I can agree to that. It's not
Yeah.
an easy thing.
Well, the other thing is also, there are also not a lot of products that lend themselves to doing what we do.
Mm,
I think we ended up, where our product is good. It's pretty consistent, um, and it lends itself well to this kind of marketing.
yeah,
I mean, there's people are more aware of what's going on in food, so we gotta, like, we check that block. We don't have crap. Um, people want to eat more healthy, so we check that block.
yeah,
People don't want big companies that's just going to basically abuse them. We check that block. So
mhm,
we've kind of hit a lot of little spots that people
yeah,
are concerned about now, and we get involved. We in the chats. We try and, I mean, I've got my wife. She gets in the chat, as you can see. We kind of involved with things, which I think is different to what most people do. You
mhm,
won't see, some of the bigger, like, people who sell steak and people who sell supplements, and you don't see those guys in the chat.
yeah,
You don't see them, like, coming in and talking to people. I mean, half the time, even some of the bigger content creators that are interviewed on channels, you never see them in chat. They just kind of come, they do their marketing thing, and they go. I
yeah,
don't think. I think you have to be more personable than that, just in my opinion. If you're
yeah.
not, people are gonna remember you and they're gonna forget you.
Yeah, and like for me, it's not always like the just on the speak that part. Like I do a thing on Fridays, or when I do it is something called the Pay It Forward, which is where I go on the Rumble side, and I go around and or the Rumble live streams because you can't really donate unless someone's live, and I just go around and I see people who are there, whether it's someone I've been by before or someone's been on the show or whatever, or new. Just go there, stop by, may give a few donos or whatever. and then move on to the next person because Rumble doesn't really have great discoverability, but there's so many people like in this. It's like a sandbox, and there's
Yes,
treasure hidden beneath, but you kind of have to go digging for it, and a lot of people don't really go digging, and so
yes,
that's what I try to do. Well, recently, not too recently, but recently, I started putting the channel names and then the links to those channels. Sometimes, if I can find their at on X, I do their at and then the
yes,
channel
yes,
link
yes, yes, of
because
course.
it helps with that discoverability and whatnot. But it's sort of like pay even if I don't get anything returned, which sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But if I don't get anything returned, that's the whole point. Is I do it without expecting,
Yes,
um, expecting that, and it is a wonder in itself when you get surprised by the not expecting it, right?
correct, correct.
And but yeah, it's just sort of a little bit like that. But even I'm not a rich man, and I I do what I can. But
Yes, yes. Well, a little bit from a lot of people is a lot,
oh yeah, yeah,
Um, so if everybody does a little bit, no, I agree. I agree.
yeah.
That definitely works.
Right. Well, and the reason why I do it on the Rumble side is because you try to go to YouTube and you are stuck. You
Yes,
paying like $5 to $10 just trying to get a sentence in.
yes, yes. No, no, yeah, I don't really don't like YouTube chat. I really don't like YouTube super chat. I don't
Yeah,
like that whole setup. I don't like it. So
yeah,
that's why I really like Rumble.
yeah.
We've been big promoters of Rumble. When people come in the store as well, we tell them go to Rumble, download the app. Get the app on your phone. There's a lot of content there. So we
Mm,
really try and push Rumble as best we can.
yeah. It's
And
just
we don't get anything out of it. I believe in the product. I think Rumble's really good.
Yeah, it's just the matter of fact that with so little I can do so much,
Yes,
and that's and
yes,
that's the point of it, right? Because I
yes,
mean, with you guys, you do a little, but with that can come so much from it, especially the people you stop by and work with, and
yes.
all that. I just find that a whole fascination, but it really is. Um, it is probably one of those few good things you can see at least within this um content creator thing when you can have people on that one-to-one like we were talking about. And then live search says we do get something out of it, freedom. Well,
Exactly, exactly. Freedom of speech. It's I think even more so than X. It's a free speech platform.
yeah,
A lot of people say, well, there are people that limit you on Rumble. It's like, well, no, the content creator has the right to limit what you're going to say in their chat.
yeah,
But I mean, you on Rumble. I mean, if you go in Styx's chat, man, some
yeah,
rough things going on there. He
yeah,
just doesn't limit anybody. But I mean, that's you also got to understand that there are limits on everything. So it's if you have a good decorum and you behave yourself, then there's no problem. But some people want to be complete hooligans and not have consequences.
yeah,
It also doesn't work.
yeah. And that's sort of the thing, like, yeah, there is a freedom of speech of sort, but a content creator gets to control their space area.
Yes, exactly.
Because,
It's
I
like
mean,
your house, man. You can't just come and make trouble in my house. You gotta calm down a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah, you don't want pigs coming in your house and trotting mud all over the place. You want.
Yeah, that's live search app. That's
Yeah,
correct. The censorship. It's not Rumble's fault. That's the app stores that enforce that.
mhm,
So you have to, if you want to be competitive in the space, you gotta play by the rules that the people who own the platforms put in place.
yeah,
Rumble doesn't own Apple or Android, but if they have requirements, I remember. I mean, we did software development,
yeah,
and there's certain requirements that's set by the App Store that
mhm,
you have to comply with, or your app will not appear in the store. So I mean, you can't get around that.
yeah.
you know
Especially when a majority of phones are either Android or iOS, and
exactly.
you can't if you want, like, if it's a game or if it's like a productivity app or whatever, you want to get out there, you have to go by whatever the platform say, and it has to be up to a standard of like quality and stuff like
Yes,
that. Although
exactly.
some of the although there are some scammy type apps that do get
Yeah,
in.
yeah, but the thing is, those guys have the rules for thee again. So their
Yeah,
buddies have all kinds of stuff,
yeah,
that they can get away with. But if you want to do it, you can't do it. So they'll have rules that Rumble has to follow, which they will enforce, which just won't get enforced on YouTube. Or it's like
well,
try and get a phone with Rumble. So one of the things I learned, and this might be boring for some people, but if you are a native app that comes with a phone, you
mm,
have different access rights
mm-hmm,
than a downloaded app.
mm-hmm,
So if Rumble comes on a phone natively, there's more it can access in terms of features on the phone and
yeah,
inside of the phone than because it's part of the OS,
yeah,
so to speak. So that's different to a installed app.
mm,
Now try and get Rumble on a phone natively. Won't happen because they don't want Rumble to have that kind of access.
mm,
Just as a matter of like as an example. So they'll make plans for their buddies, but not for you who they don't really like. But that's just life. You got to live with it. It's you can cry. It's not gonna go away. You just gotta work around it, man. You know.
I think Nick.
Uh, natively installed. My wife being nonsense there. I'm not even seeing. I'm so deep in thought.
Just throw like a little peanut at her or something. I don't know, but that's hilarious. No, but I mean it's. I mean, YouTube is a great example where it's on both iOS and well, obviously on Android because Google.
Yes.
But it's a I think it's been an automatic app, native app in iPhone since like its inception of
Yes.
iPhones.
Yes. Exactly. So,
So
so the stuff we did was app based and then data collection, and it was a pretty complicated thing. But
mm,
because we weren't a native app, like
yeah,
you have access problems,
yeah,
and they won't open it for you unless you know someone that'll get you the permissions, and it's a thing.
yeah. Which is the lucky part, but it's also nice to get to talk to people who've been experienced in that field because I think you have a lot of people who don't understand because they're not of
Yes,
that information, and
yes,
so and I'm pretty sure at times it's a difficult thing to try to explain because like okay, so this is how it works, and somebody looks like wait what?
yes, yes. Well, I'm very sure Rumble, when they do an update and it sucks,
Yeah,
it's not on purpose. They're not. Well, let's see how many people we're gonna piss off today. Let's do this update. It's not how. We've done. I mean, we used to have to do updates as well. With the phones, it's hard because every time there's a software update on the phone, you have a chance of your app not working, and then you got to do an update. And believe me, Apple is the worst. Whatever beta release. So how it works is they'll give you a beta release
mm,
of the software.
yeah,
They'll say, okay, use this to test your app. We're
yeah,
going to release on this day, but this is the release, like the beta, the pre-release of what we're going to release.
mm,
So test your app on this and make sure it works. And then you do that. And then when they release it, it's not what they gave you. And then none of your shit works. And it's like, what happened? I don't understand. And then
yeah,
it's chaos. And Apple was very bad with that, man.
yeah,
And then like they just take accesses away. Like, there's certain bits of the software that you access to get to
yeah,
do whatever you need to do, and it's just gone. Like you can't
mm,
access it anymore. And you mail them, and they're like, "Yeah, we decided not to release it." It's like, what do
yeah,
you mean? Like half my app's working on this shit now. We don't have an app. You know, that's the end for you. Yeah. No, Apple is hard to work with, man. And every time they bring out new software, they restrict it more and more. So
mm,
it really to try and do you almost have to be like a partner with Apple
yeah,
to get anything done. And the thing is, what I don't like about those guys, and you'll see it on the phones if you have a look, like all phones. So I'll give you an example. You remember when flashlight apps were good, like a big thing. Like, hey, you get this app and you
yeah,
can. Now all phones have flashlights. So
yeah,
all those guys who wrote those apps have no more business.
yeah,
Because they just decided, well, we're just going to include it in the software. So whenever there's a good idea,
yeah,
these guys just take it for themselves, and they like basically destroy. The guy who came up with a flashlight app, like his whole business is gone because it's like Amazon. If there's something they can make money out of, and they see some guy doing something, they'll just like take his business and just start producing it themselves. That's what
Yeah.
these big companies do.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. And I think from a degree that's an understandability because I mean, nothing, even on the simplest terms, like I remember someone were like lighters too, like you'd have like a lighter thing or whatever. At a certain point, I mean, if it's a necessity that people need on their phone, sooner or later, both Android and Apple are going to do it because it's just part of that ordeal. It's the evolution of their
Yes,
technology,
yes,
right? And apps are meant to be, something to download, and you can either do a free one or a premium
yes.
one. But yeah, there's that understandability. But then again, at the end of the day, like back in the day, we used to have people that would go to your house and wake you up, right? Or you'd have you'd have people light oil lamps during like the Victorian era. We don't have
Yes,
those people anymore. So
yes.
it's an understandability on one side of the coin, but the other side too is like technology just evolves and those people don't exist. And they
Yes.
either have to change their format or go on to something else because we
Well,
don't have.
what would be nice is especially these like massive, massive companies.
Yeah,
If they would like pay some homage to the guys and say, what, you came up with a real good idea that we're going to use to make money. Maybe we'll
yeah.
give you a little something.
I don't see alarm clocks pay those people that used to come to your house to wake you up. Okay, all right. They don't have that on the torches and all this stuff. Where are the names on those flashlights for torches? Who would?
Yes, yes, right.
No, but I get it. I do get it. It's just I come from the fact of just like if we were to look at all our technology and what it's done, like even the stuff that used to be like, there's still candle makers out there and
Yes,
whatnot. There still exists stuff that's like blacksmithing and all that. They're just at a smaller scale. But it's like those evolutions, they didn't stop what came next. It
yes,
just evolved.
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not to speak bad on the people who made the apps. It's just an understandability. It's like there was a saying, and I think this was used by Steve Jobs. The saying was it was from Wayne Gretzky was don't go where the puck has been, go where the puck is going. Right?
yes. True, true.
And so you kind of have to be people who are in the technology field have to understand one, technology is growing at an increased rate, right? Like 6 months, 3 months, whichever it is, right? Even though it costs more, which is the ridiculous part.
Yes,
But the point of the matter is, though, is that technology is growing at an exponent. The AI stuff, right? Grok and all that.
yes,
What Elon's doing is just insane. But the
yes,
point of the matter is, if you're not paying attention and you're not trying to find a way of getting ahead of the curve, or at least get a few steps ahead, then then that lesson is on you to learn because
yes. Yeah, I agree. I can't. I cannot. I cannot disagree with what you're saying. It's
yeah.
you correct. You know.
Well,
You,
just think about this, right? I'm pretty sure you remember what the first cell phone was like, right? The first smartphone. It was a huge block, right? It was this huge thing. It carried like what, maybe a pound or so. You have to carry this thing around. What is it now?
yes,
This,
yes,
this.
yes, yes. And it's powerful now, man. The stuff can do so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No, I agree. I mean, I can't find the. I think the thing is what people need to realize is that's the animal and
mhm,
that's what it does. So
yeah,
you just have to accept it, and like you say, move past that and try and get a few steps ahead.
yeah. Because
Because
I mean,
the
yeah,
animal's not going to change. It is what it is.
yeah. Yeah. We are what we are, right? The curiosity and all that stuff with technology. I,
Yeah.
And they never got paid when the covers came out. Exactly. Look at her. Look at her. All right. Where's her payment due? Where's her? You can buy cases bejazzled and all that stuff. Like, it's crazy. Oh my gosh. But no, it's not it's not me trying to be mean. It's just trying to point out a truth that's just been us for so long. It's just it's it understandable in one section, but then you have to take yourself out of it and say, okay, the technology we had, like you were talking about coding and stuff because you were working with IT stuff. Like the majority of stuff that you dealt with is, maybe some of it's still around. There are still places that use old stuff, which is
Yes,
bad.
yes. No, this was one of the so one of the debates we had, inside of the company was, well, how do you make a profitable app business?
Yeah.
Because kids now will go to college
Mhm.
and they'll write really good apps
Yeah.
that they put out for free
Mhm.
while they at college.
Yeah.
So how do you as a business owner compete, with a guy living at his, either a dorm or at his, parents' house or whatever while studying,
Mhm.
writing really good apps? Because there's some college guys that, I mean, they write really. There are guys that's not in college. Like
Yeah.
my best developers never went to college. So
Wow.
yeah, like really really good developers that just, the one guy was a very good developer. He was studying to become like a medical professional,
Interesting.
and he did coding on the side, like a really clever guy, and he did coding on the side
Mhm.
for money. So instead of working at like a pizza joint, he was just doing app work
Mhm.
for people for money, while studying to become a medical professional. So I
Mhm.
mean, they're phenomenally intelligent people, and they can do these things. So how do you compete with someone that will code something for the pleasure of coding it and putting it out there for free
Mhm.
as a business competing in the same realm? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
it's like technology is almost built to become free, you know?
Well, and that's the funny thing that you bring it up because YouTube just put out a new app recently. What was it called? It's their app called YouTube Create, and it's where you can edit and do all different sorts of stuff with it, and it's free to use.
Yes,
So you do have a big company, right? So YouTube is very big,
yes,
and you do have that where I think the answer in that is they put it out for free and people can use it and all this stuff, but it's within their uh what's the best word? It's like it's not their walled off garden, but it's in their house, right?
yes, 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 yes,
Right.
yes, yes, yes,
Just like with all the other apps, it's in their house, so they
yes,
get to control updates and all that sort of stuff. So you do kind of have that, but yeah, I think that would be the hard question is when you, especially now, you could have like I saw people when they had Grok come out, right? Later on, when Grok got better, they were people were using it to make games, like 2D
yes,
games with that. And so now you're gonna have that other question come up is like if AI is so good that it can code. Now, obviously, you have to check it, but and stuff can
yes,
happen. But if you're gonna have AI become part of the game, how much harder does it become for bigger companies now, unless they
yes,
own a chunk of that, which YouTube
yes,
does?
yes,
What's the hardness of it? And I'm gonna think like a lot of companies are gonna have much more time trying to answer that because now that AI gets involved, they have to either become part of that field or they have to go to something completely different, and it's gonna
yes,
be crazy. It's gonna be
yes. No,
crazy.
so someone asked me probably a year ago. They said, "So what do you think of AI?" And I said, "Well, it's like the internet. It's out,
Yeah,
and it's not going to go away, and it's going to
yeah,
get better. So you better figure out how you're going to make it part of what you do,
yeah,
or you're going to fall behind because
yeah,
your competitors are going to figure out how to use it. And if
mm,
if you can say all you want, well, I don't like the internet, but if you don't have a store online now, like
mm,
your business is half of what it should be. So
mm,
you have to use the internet, and if you don't use AI to help you, your competitors are going to figure it out, and they're going to beat you. So
mm,
you have to get on that bandwagon.
yeah.
You know?
And that's sort of the sad thing of too, is because like that's the whole thing with like monopoly and all that sort of stuff, like the big companies and all that, where they kind of outsource the small person. But
Yes,
I think if a small business is good, and this is where that word of mouth thing comes in, right? Right, that's I feel like that's probably the best way to beat big companies because word of mouth is like it's a slow burn, you build credibility, you build a reputation, you build something through that, and it's gonna take time to get there, but its value, like earlier, has a longer lasting stay, and I think that's probably gonna be the best way to kinda either defend yourselves from big company or maybe compete against a big company because most of the time they're relying on the other little companies to help marketing and R&D and all this
Right.
stuff, and they're relying on others to do it. Whereas word of mouth, yeah, relies on others to kind of do it, but they have an incentive to do it because they enjoy the product that has been put out.
Well, the thing is also, the more the technology comes out, the
Mm,
more of it that becomes available to everybody, the easier it is for you to also compete with bigger companies because you know, AI is accessible to everyone.
mm,
So, where when a company can pay 50 people to do a job and you can't because you're a small business, now AI takes over. Now you have the ability to do more
mm,
as a small guy.
mm,
They're gonna reduce their overhead, but we're getting kind of the same tools.
mm,
Where if it was manpower driven, they can just hire as many people as possible, and you can't keep up with that. But
mm.
once it starts becoming technology driven, we
Yeah,
all have so you just have to upskill yourself in the getting to know the technology, but then you can do a lot.
yeah. It's that I mean the only worry is that like if you're using something company owned like Grok or VO or whatever, there is that certainty of like the company and them shutting you down or out or whatever. So there is that point. But I
Yeah,
think for the most part, how the tool is used is gonna ultimately be up on the individual.
yeah.
And while there is an understandability of the fears and the anger and all that stuff on it, like you said, it's like the internet. Once it's out there, it's out there. You can't put it back, and you
No, that genie's not going back in the bottle, man. The one thing AI is not going to take over is manual labor.
yeah,
Plumbers, electricians, mechanics.
yeah,
AI is not coming for those jobs soon, man. So I'm
mm,
telling you, there's the guys working with their hands are going to make a lot of money.
yeah, yeah, and it's definitely. And Queen says Biltong box packer.
But box packers, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if she's trying to say like fudge packing or something. I don't know what's going on there. Oh my
No,
goodness.
because we got so many shipments, she'd like AI to pack some boxes for us if it can.
Well, no, that's. I mean, it's just gonna be like you said. You either know how to work with it or you
Well,
work
yeah, you
against
see
it.
what's going to happen is you're going to streamline your operation. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so what happens is when you're small to try and make money, you do everything, and
yeah,
then you get a little bigger because you're doing everything, and then you're like, all right, I got to streamline things because I can't do everything. It's
mm,
too much effort, especially if it starts scaling. So
yeah,
what you do is you start whittling down and streamlining your processes, and then that way, you can start automating where, to give you an example, like 1 pound of Angus and 1 pound of Wagyu goes in an X size box with a certain way of packing. And
mm,
if you can put that in a process, you can automate it. And then you can have a machine, and all it does is it packs all those orders that's like 1 pound Angus, 1 pound Wagyu in this size box with a this and a that.
mm,
And then you just put it together, automate it, and you can actually have a machine that'll do that, and that's all that machine does is just that process.
yeah,
So that's what happens in the end is you have to kind of streamline your production
yeah,
to work with those things. Yeah.
yeah. And you'll still be overseeing it. You're just
Yes.
using you're using a tool to help make your what you do more efficient.
Correct.
Cause,
Correct.
cause, cause it becomes a what? It becomes a time thing, right? And you know they
Yeah.
say time is money and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So there's
Yeah.
that.
So yeah.
But no, yeah, it's just gonna be interesting. But no, I feel like you guys are gonna you guys have something great because of just what you guys do, and being able to do more than the biltong, like all the snack stuff,
Yeah.
is just as valuable because I think if you have variety, it gives people more than like, oh, they're just a biltong place. No, they're
Yeah.
biltong plus.
Exactly. That's why we do the variety.
Which is gonna be the next is gonna be like your like silver tier is just a biltong plus.
Yes. So we're talking to a few guys. The cookies we bring in. It's a big company in South Africa that they basically just that's what they make, is these kind of cookies and stuff. Really nice cookies. I grew up with them. So we were
Mm,
talking to a few guys to see if we can market that a little bit.
mm.
But you got to be careful, because you don't want to get, all the health conscious guys that now eat the biltong. You don't want to contaminate that. You got
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
got to you got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, and that's where it's nice where you put like the like on your website you do put like the nutritional stuff on
Yes.
your list of things, which is good. But I mean, at the end of the day, at least people are free to choose, and if they choose, well, that's on them.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Well, one cookie. It's just one cookie.
just yeah, just what Queen says, just one cookie on the side. There you go.
See,
Uh,
that's why we're married. It's same thought.
that's that she says, "Look, he's not looking. I'm gonna have one."
Yeah.
We didn't hear from you. But what cookie box? Oh, cookie box it is. Oh wow, cookie. Jeez, she's not having one cookie. She's having a whole box. That's crazy. Oh goodness, but that's too funny. But anyway, it is getting close to that top of hour again. So what happens is we'll do what we did before, and then we'll kind of slowly meander out. Zero self control. Hey, listen, I'm right there with you. Give me a box of Oreos. I'm right there with you. Just be careful. Uh, but we're gonna do our thing from earlier. I have to find the scroll up. Nope. Nope, 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 not that, not that, not that. There we go. So there's your link, good sir. If you want to promote yourself again, the
All
floor is
right. Yeah.
yours.
Thank you. So you guys can find me on X, king_of_biltong, and then our channel on both YouTube and Rumble is Eat at Anton's, and then our website is biltongusa.com. You can find everything on there. So that's it.
Nice. Yeah, and obviously, great stuff. Even if you don't like biltong, you can still look at all the other items that are on the
Yeah, lots
website.
of imported groceries,
Yeah,
candies, cookies, crackers.
yeah,
Not the pale cracker, just like
yeah,
cracker. Chips. I guess potato chips is what we
yeah.
call them. Crisps or whatever.
Chris,
Some
yeah.
groceries. Really good coffee, actually. Sweet. Do me a favor. That's something that we don't really. Nicole, pass me the bag over here. The coffee. I want to show you guys this. This is probably the best coffee that I've ever had. I'll just pop this on so everybody can see that quick. These guys,
Travel
you can
coffee.
get
Oh
them.
yeah.
Oh man, I tell you, I'll send you. Two
I don't.
the
I
two
don't.
drinks and a coffee. I'm gonna say you drink coffee, right?
I don't drink coffee.
You
No.
don't drink coffee. You don't
No.
drink coffee. Oh, I was gonna send you a bag. You don't
I
even drink
would.
coffee.
I will say this though. I did buy the hot chocolate you guys offer though.
Yes,
The Arrow. The
there.
Arrow.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was pretty good. I was like, I gotta try that. I've never because I've tried the chocolate bar, right? They do the chocolate bar
yes,
stuff.
yes, yes. With
Uh,
the bubbles in. Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah,
So
that's the
we'll
best
send you
part.
some. We'll send you something similar to an Oreo. How about that?
I will accept it with great honor. Thank you. There you go, Dual Helix. Thank you for that. Where is his Let me bring it up. There we go. Thank you for that. And then we'll play into later, so don't worry about that. But
Oh,
again,
I do have this. This might tickle your fancy.
ooh, wow. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of you have a lot of Cadbury stuff on your site
Yeah,
too.
yeah. That's majority of what we import is a Cadbury.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was like is that because I know Cadbury's what Nestle is it?
No, Nestle. Cadbury is competition to Nestle.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were one and the same. All right, there we go. NDO. Look at that neurodivergent in the chat right there.
Oh no, hey man, how you?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, and the missus says Cadbury is better.
Yes.
The Cadbury is better. No coffee. I don't drink coffee. It's not my thing. Don't like the smell. I just drink hot chocolate. That's all. That's all I'll ever do. I can't do coffee. I have family. I have a dad who my dad likes percolated coffee, but I don't. I personally don't drink coffee. Never have. Never will. But for my things, whether you're on, and again, his the links for Mister King of Biltong will be on both the Rumble side and YouTube side because I do stream to both ends. Um, but for my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or YouTube side, doesn't matter which side you're on. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only is helping being seen more, like almost all content creators want to be. I did have one person who said I'd rather be behind the scenes, and he's a great guy. But it also helps in having other people on, like the King of Biltong, like Gina, like Tomby, like so many other people. At the end of the day, I've had on over 300 and plus various people, like content creators, not content creators, a whole smorgasbord, and it's so many different people. And I do try to bring people back on if time allows for it. But it's just amazing to be able to get to do this thing that I just didn't see a lot of other content creators do. So there's that. But any help with the engagement factor on either end helps with that, and I much appreciate it for doing so. Let me think I get back to my links. I gotta roll up. Oh, hold on. There we go. This is my link tree thing right there. You can go there. You can find my Twitter X. You can find an email. I do have a Discord link, but it's mostly just for DMing. I don't have a server. I already have a full-time job. I don't need to search myself any more thinner, so it's not gonna happen. But if you need to communicate with me, you can communicate through there. And of course, the Rumble and YouTube links are in there as well. And of course, like I said before, and I'll quickly go through them, I am part of Proton's partner program, just like I'm part of Rumble's creator program, but I only do enough to stay in it, not enough to get paid. The paid extra part, I still get the rants and stuff. But if you're ever interested in Proton, check it out for yourself. The link is right there. This is promoting their Proton Unlimited plan, which encompasses their whole suite of stuff. And they have a bunch of free things out there as well that you can use that you don't need this for. But it's just basically, if you want to look, link is there. If you go for it, you can save some money on like the yearly pay of it. But again, it's just for you. They're very privacy oriented. I promote them for that. I promote it for the benefit of others, not for myself, because I can get paid, but I'm not about the paying part because I do use this on a daily basis. I just want to be able to give people an option that will sort of better their frame of privacy and whatnot, even though nothing on the internet is 100%. Just as long as you take away with that, that's all that matters. And of course, the ironic part is my end of things for the Biltong. Again, you've heard us talk about it. Again, King and his wife, Queen, as you've seen in chat, they run the store. And of course, I think, and I've seen pictures of your son helping too.
Oh yeah,
He has helped as well. So again, they make a great product. Again, it is a South African traditional treat or snack.
yeah, snack.
Yeah,
I
snack.
guess.
It's a traditional snack. Again, when I talked to Flex Gamer, he was making his own biltong
Yes.
where he was at because he just enjoyed it that much. So if you've never had it before, I would say give it a try. You don't have to if you don't want to, but at the end of the day, that right there, there's a link to right there you can see. And if you do decide to buy from something from a store, you can use 10% to save 10% on certain objects like the biltong and whatnot. But again, they're really great products. Again, these are people who are making it in America and who want to buy something made in America. All right, what we've been trying to strive for here as Americans. Okay,
Yeah,
buy American,
exactly.
and these people do it.
Keep the money in the country, man.
That's right. That's right. Get that Angus and Wagyu and watch it go. Well, except the bison. You did say you get that from
Yeah,
Canada.
the
So
bison we have to. I don't. It's like I don't understand why we can't get American bison. I'm still blown away by that. I don't
that
understand it, but that's the only bison we can get is imported.
that is something. But still, it is still. I did try the bison. It wasn't bad. It's certainly a weird thing to try, but again, at the end of the day, they make great stuff. And why wouldn't you want to support American made? I mean, come on. Even if you do once, I will say for Queen, if she's still in the chat, the person who I was sending it to, she did like the peri peri and the biltong. She liked the little spot. I know you guys make the ghost pepper one, and I'm never gonna touch that one because I like my tongue. But even peri peri for me was kind of spicy, so I'm more of going for the other side. But I do want to say she did enjoy it. So hopefully that may turn into someone who buys more. If not, you know what? She got to try something that was great, and that's the important part. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Nero, for that. We will drink the coffee for him, Marcus. Yeah, you can drink as much coffee as you want. I just not a coffee person. Never been my thing. But if you don't like the coffee, don't blame it on me. It's not my fault. Oh goodness. Let's see. Is the ghost pepper the hottest? Is the ghost pepper the hottest you have?
No, the Reaper is hotter. The
Oh, the
Reaper,
Reaper's hot. Okay.
the peri peri is about a 2 out of 10. The Ghost is a 5, and the Reaper is about an 8.
Wow.
Yeah, that Reaper. Even me, I'm like, man, I'll have one piece, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta wait.
How do
Right.
you? Is it? Does it? Is it very strong when you make with ghost
Oh
pepper?
yeah.
Oh
Especially
gosh.
when we clean the machines afterwards, man. It'll burn my skin if I touch the where the spices are, and
Oh.
that's diluted. It's not,
Oh.
it's not clean pepper. So that's after we've made the product and we
Yeah.
wash the machines out. Where the remnants is, it'll actually burn my skin.
Oh my gosh. And and Queen says she had two pieces today. I was like that.
Yes, yes, like 2 slices, and,
Oh Lord.
and you will pay for it tomorrow.
And she says Anton had a puff in the face once, knocked him down for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I was stupid. I wanted to close the Reaper pepper bag,
Mm.
and I didn't think, so I squeezed it, and just the I guess dust that came out put me down for like I couldn't see out of my eyes for like 30 minutes.
Oh my god. Probably worse than probably worse than pepper spray.
Yeah, I think that pepper spray, that's for amateurs, man. They should come take a whiff of the Reaper pepper, man. That stuff. No, but I couldn't open my eyes for like 30 minutes. I couldn't open my eyes.
You build a Dual says you build build a tolerance to the high spices. Yeah, oh, he likes super hot peppers. Yeah, it's just not my thing. I eat Chinese food that's supposed to be not hot and it's still a bit hot to me. Okay, so that's how. Yeah, Reaper spray. There you go, Reaper spray. That
Yeah,
should
yeah,
be. Yeah, get Biltong Reaper spray.
yeah. Pepper spray on tacos. Wow.
Well, oh, and that's right. The funny thing too is that the other thing too is that you guys have of your own tallow, right? You guys have
Yeah.
your own tallow.
We actually we made our own tallow, but one of our so the guys we get our wagyu from, they actually make tallow. So we sell tallow. Yes, tallow we've got, and I'm getting big 1 gallon tubs
Nice.
Thursday. Yes, I'm getting 1 gallon tubs. So
Cause
there'll be
those
some tubs.
Yeah, cause that's like a very another cooking alternative,
Yes,
right? Instead of
yes,
using
yes,
seed oils, whatever.
yes, yes,
And I also know you guys sell your spice. You spell jar your spices
yes,
too,
yes,
which is
yes,
pretty
yes,
good.
yes. Yeah,
So, but that's again, it's you go there and it's like a wonderland. You can explore all the different stuff, and it's worth it. Just worth it to look. Even if you don't buy anything, it's still worth it to look and all that stuff. So there's that. But of course, the next part of after that is tomorrow. Hey, crazy dude, how are you? You're coming towards the end of it though, dude. You're kind of you are a crazy dude. You're coming at the end, but we'll still be going to bed. But tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, I will have on the wonderful Jack Tarlad again. Uh, Dude's been on more times than I can count, and I think I've lost count. I'll have to check again. But he'll be on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern because he's in the UK. So if it's 5 p.m. Eastern where I am at, it's 10 p.m. Eastern where he's at, or it's 10 p.m. his time where he's at. So there's a 5 hour difference. I do know that I am 6 hours behind South Africa, though. I did find
yes,
that out.
yes.
Yeah.
Because we're about 7. It depends. Once the time change comes through,
Oh
which I
yeah.
really hate because I'm not used to that. Where I'm from, we don't have the
Daylights.
daylight saving. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I do not like that. But then it's 8 hours, so it's normally 7 and then 8. Yeah, so
Yeah.
6 is right for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had a lady on from the Netherlands, and I think they follow the daylight savings time too, in that
Okay,
regard.
that's possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In South Africa, no daylight time saving. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
And
yeah.
yeah, but they're pretty much on the without the I think without daylight savings they're pretty much on the same time length
Yes,
as South
yes. I
Africa.
think so. It's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Outlaw time zones and daylight savings only UTC time. Oh, all right.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay.
No more. No more.
No more. Yeah, definitely would like to get rid of it. But anyway, that again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern with the wonderful Jack Tarled. Hope you'll be able to join me for that. And of course, the last thing I do is my guest there, Anton, and hopefully you won't it's not gonna be too bad. But the what the last thing I do is something I call questions from a hat. And so what happens is I bought a hat from Rumble, as you can see here,
Okay.
right? And there are questions inside. So what happens is that you, my guest, get 2 freebie questions on the house of whatever comes out of the hat. However, uh, I'm also on YouTube too, but I'm not monetized. So sorry, YouTube, but there's just no way. But if you're on the Rumble side, you guys can, in fact, pay to have another question to come out. And obviously, we've already had a few do that. So all the Rumble rants that came earlier are going to add to that. So that means you have 5 questions total. So we're going to see what questions. They won't be that bad, I promise you.
Oh,
But
it's all good.
they'll make you think a bit. Hopefully, at least that I try to. But anyway, so question number 1. All right, let's see what I can get. Not even looking the hat. I'm just using my hands to feel around. Okay, here we go. Here's question number 1. All right, let's see what it says. If I can get it open from all the post-it note stuff. All right, here we go. What's the weirdest food combination you secretly love?
Probably weird. I guess what would be weird is probably like bovrite and cheese on toast, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah. Bovrite is like Marmite. I don't know if you guys know what Marmite is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard of it. It's like, well, there's Vegemite and there's
Yes.
Marmite. Yeah, 2
So
of
I
them.
like that and cheese on toast. So for Americans, that would be weird.
Yeah.
For South Africans, it's normal.
Yeah, goodness sake. Yeah, no, I haven't heard of that one, but I have heard of Vegemite. So, and I've heard a lot of people like, huh? So there's that.
Marmite and cheese on toast, yes.
Oh goodness. There you go. 6 GMT where he's at. Bill Collin, thank you for that. Cooking channel, that's right. There's cooking channel. Yep, I already have those links up there too. Thank you, Nero. Question number 2. If you could rename yourself, what ridiculous name would you choose?
That's not something I ever thought about.
If you could change your name from Anton, like what ridiculous name would you give yourself?
I've literally never thought of it. Well, what would I, if I had to give myself a ridiculous name? I guess King of Biltong would count.
Looks like the white misses agree with you.
I will tell you. I will tell you this. So there's this book. It's called Koning van Katoren. Now, I did the translation. It's available on Amazon. Give
Mm,
me 1 second. I'll tell you exactly now. And that was what I based the name on. Let me see if I can find it quick, and I can at least give you guys the English version
yeah.
of the book, because it's this guy that goes around, and he has to solve puzzles. So it's almost like it's a like the Netherlands, like Scandinavian type area.
Uh,
Um, Let me see quick. And then they lost their king, so they have to find this new king. No, it doesn't want
yeah.
to come up. But there's an English version of it. But
Mm,
I'll see if I can put the book name in the chat. But what happens is, he's got to go to all the areas in the country, and he has to
mm,
solve a puzzle in each area and solve a problem for the people,
mm,
so the people would elect him. And
mm,
at that time, we were actually the land of Biltong. It was
mm,
before I bought the Biltong USA name, and I
yeah.
thought, wow, that's pretty cool because I have to solve problems in making all of this Biltong and the production. So let's just do, the king of Biltong, because that guy was the king of that country. So that's how I came up with it. So I guess it's a little bit ridiculous.
Hear ye, the king is here. Get back to work, you peasants. Oh goodness. No, that's pretty good though. I didn't know that. All right, question number 3. Question number 3. Uh if I can get it open. Uh oh, here we go. I think we've already hit on this, but we'll go back. What does freedom of speech mean to you?
Freedom of speech is your liberty, basically. If you don't have freedom of speech, you have no freedom at all. Which
Mm,
is why I really like Rumble, because I have coming from a socialist country where socialist going communist, there's a lot of limitations on what you can and can't say and do. I think freedom of speech is the cornerstone
Mm,
of just having freedom in general.
mm,
And if you limit freedom of speech, that's the first step of limiting what people can do. Because they
mm.
start with a speech, and then they come for everything else.
Yeah, it's the ability to express oneself in a free space, basically. Um, there you go. There's the name of the book right there. Koning
Toren van Katoren. Yes, you. It's Dutch. It's a Dutch book that was South Africa Afrikaans, which is my first language, is very much based on Dutch. So it's a book that was taken, I think, from a Dutch a
mm,
fairy tale.
freedom of creativity. All right, you got one saying freedom of creativity. Well, it allows that freedom, but it's the expression of.
Yes,
But no, but yeah, it's funny because the lady had on knows Dutch and also Afrikaans, which is
yes.
what the language is. All right. The four number question number four, because this one, yeah. So it's five total. So let me look for question number four. Let's see about this. Oh, here we go. Question number four right here. Um, you just got $1 million tax free. What's the first thing you do with it?
Pay off all my debt,
Smart,
which
smart.
is significant now after the move. So
Yeah.
I owe a lot of people money. So yes, but you know what? I would pay off debt, and I wouldn't change anything else. I would still work exactly like I'm working now. I wouldn't change anything.
There you go. Just he'll just get the mafia off him for a bit. That's a
Yes, yes, yes.
great,
Yeah.
great.
The guys that issue that permanent limp, try
Yeah.
and get them off my back. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Crazy dude says cake and hookers. Hey now, hey, calm it down there. All right. Nah, don't need that. It's like keep my digits. Keep your digits. Oh, keep your fingers. Yeah, keep your. Yeah, definitely want to keep your fingers. Don't want them going away. All right. Well, here's question number five, and unless someone gives another rumble rant, that will be the end of it. But here's question number five. What's a childhood memory that still makes you smile?
I think probably the first time I could properly ride a proper bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
That I think I still remember. I uh, figured out not like a little, but a proper bicycle where you could get some good speed. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's probably I was probably about 8 years old, and I think that was probably what would classify as the best like memory I have of childhood.
Yeah, me riding a bike was not fun because I'd fall over big chunk of the time. It's like, hey, I'm going. No.
Not going. No, I fell a lot, but just when you actually on a bicycle and you get some good speed going and you're having a good time, I actually think that was probably one of the best memories.
That's a great memory to have. But beyond that point, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the show. And of course, I want to thank all those in the chat. Thank you for being part of. Thank you for being here and just getting to chat with us about whatever. And of course, thank you to the great man himself and the missus who's probably listening over there. I do have to be nice, otherwise she'll just take my head off, and I don't want that. I don't need a surprise in the box. That's all I'm asking. Don't put a
No surprise in the box.
don't put those kind of surprises in the box. But no, but thank you. No, thank you for
Yeah, thank you very much.
no. I'm gonna send it back. I'm gonna send it back if you give me coffee. I'm gonna send it back. Or I'm gonna give it the hobo underneath the bridge. You choose. But no, but thank you for coming on and being part of it. Because
Yeah,
again, I know some people are like, they I've had some people on there anxious. They don't know what's about or whatever. But I mean, basically, that's it. That's like that's the gist of the show. It's basically that.
yeah, it's
Um,
cool, man.
so, but no, but not, like I always tell my guests, like you're always welcome to come back. Obviously,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
there's always more to talk about, and of course, it doesn't hurt to keep promoting that sweet biltong. All right, there you go. Send it to me. Do Helix says send the coffee to him. There you go. Someone's gonna take that coffee. I will sacrifice for the good of it all, for the good of mankind. I will sacrifice that coffee to that man. Uh, and Life Search says, "What a great guest! I hope the new year takes the business to new levels." Me too. Me too.
Thank
You
you.
guys
Thank you.
are working it hard. And in order to remind me, it really is good stuff. There you go. But yeah. So again, oh, thank you, Rumble Quacker, and thank you, Rumble Quacker, for the gifted subs. Much appreciated. I usually don't have anything for that, but I still appreciate it nonetheless. And of course, like I said earlier, again, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, I will have on again the Jack Tarlite. And again, this is the last week of the year that I am doing my stuff. Obviously, I'm taking the next 2 weeks off because holiday stuff, right? I'm not gonna look. I don't have to rely on this for financial whatever. So I'm gonna take those 2 weeks off and enjoy myself. Cause
Absolutely, as you should.
yeah, cause I was able to scrounge up all the time I had left, and it was able to take those 2 weeks off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Yeah, go and
yes.
take a rest.
Oh goodness. But anyway, but before we go, I do end the show. Like you saw earlier with the earlier music video, I do end it with another one, but this one is usually the same every time. This one is called "One Day with You" by Pogo. And again, guys, hope to see you all tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. And of course, all our links are down below on both the Rumble side and YouTube side. So you want to see what Anton is up to and his other stuff? There you go, right there. Um, and just make sure, don't forget to mute yourself as well for this one, for the music video.
Perfect.
But anyway, One Day with You. Bye, Pogo. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. And I will see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Cheers.